Yeah, you know what time it is. No scripts, no filters, no fear. We said what we said and meant that. Off the record. Off the record, yeah, we keep it real. No filter, shit, we say what we feel. Politics, stories, truth on display. Come on. We talk that talk in our own way. Off the record, minion the guy, let's go. Foxy 2, Roxy 3, she go hard.
I swear on everything, that is exactly what he said right here in the studio.
That is the funniest thing I have heard all week.
So hard, Lizzie with the facts she never missed. Nah. I said what I said, that's the twist. Off the record, yeah. Come and catch the vibe. Where real ones talk and the truth survive. Late night truth, we don't just speak. We pull the roots from what they keep. From pain to progress, we light the flame. No spin, no script, we call it by name. Minion bring the vision, Foxy bring the flame. Lizzie drop a cease, it'll never be the same. I said what I said, say it loud, no shame. We take the truth global, remember the name. No apologies, no disguise. Just soul and purpose in our record.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Happy Hump Day and welcome to the show. Welcome to our Off the Record show. We're glad to see everybody here. I hope everybody has had a pleasant day today. I know I have. And everything's been good with me. I hope everything is good with you guys. And so we decided to do another show to get into this madness, bring it to you with the hood taste, with the hood feel to it.
A little bit of hood.
Yeah, this the hood news. Yeah, this is what we call the hood news. And so I got Foxy 2, Roxy 3 with me. And tonight, Minion won't be with us tonight. So hopefully we'll see him next show. He's been having to work a lot and, he's been busy. So tonight you're just going to have myself, which is I said what I said. And then we'll have my padre in crime, Foxy 2, Roxy 3. So, like I said, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Welcome. And we're going to let Foxy go ahead and greet the people that's in the chat. And then we'll get into this, to these shenanigans. Yes. And how you doing tonight, Foxy? Before we greet the chat, let me ask you, girl, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing awesome. I'm just ready to get into this live hoodish stuff that our president is doing.
Okay.
I want to greet Susie Mills welcome, Susie. Thank you for coming over to visit with us. Thank you for supporting us. And Nana and Nene, thank you for joining us also. And Purple Heart Podcast. And Martin Jean, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. And anybody else that come in, we'll greet them also. Well, we just want to honor y'all for joining us. There would be no us without you all. Thank you so much.
That's right. And thank you guys for supporting the show. We do appreciate it. Susie and Nani and Nini are really some of our, every time we come live, they definitely come and support the show. And we do appreciate it. And we appreciate everyone that's supporting the show. But I just want to give a special shout out to them because they always support the show. And they're always ready for the shenanigans. And really, they like to keep up with what's going on with the world events. We have Purple Heart Podcast, which is just Jay, and she joins the show from time to time also. But I just want to say thank you guys for the support. We do appreciate it. But we got a lot of shenanigans that we got to get into tonight. Y'all president, aka Agent Orange, aka Shitty Pants. Is back on one. It's not a day go by where he's not trying to change the news cycle, or he's doing something stupid, or just doing something that's in the headline news. For right now, he's in China. I guess he's trying to make a deal, but every president visit foreign countries, and so it's his time to visit China. And from what I heard and saw today, President Xi is really hadn't even came out to greet him, talk to him, or none of that. And so I guess President Xi is giving him the cold shoulder for now. And that's what dictators do. They do what they want to do. He's just playing a game with Trump, in my opinion. And, I guess just so that Trump can have a meltdown. So I'm pretty sure tonight, if you guys stay tuned and if you subscribe to Truth Social, then you can probably go over there and watch the meltdown, because I'm sure he's going to be melting down no matter what deal him and she make. I'm pretty sure he's going to talk about it. He'll, he's that type of dude that laugh in your face and stab you in the back when you're not looking. Right. And that's what he does to all of our leaders. He'll make a deal with them, and then he'll change his mind 5 minutes later. You got anything to say about that, Foxy, before we get into the show?
Well, the thing is, China, China's not going to meet with him, because China, he's over there trying to, talk with China to try to get, from my opinion, this is my opinion now, to try to get them to not support Iran, because, they're getting a lot of their war supplies from Iran.
Right.
And Russia. But he's trying to go over there to try to, talk about everything else and kind of work his way in about Iran. And he ain't playing that. He's like, look, we all want you not to go over there and mess with Iran. Now everybody got to pay to go through the Strait of Hormuz, where before nobody had to pay. So, right. So ain't no need. What we talking about? That's basically what he said. What we talking about?
So Iran says there's going to be some new sheriffs at the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, they're the new sheriff. We the new sheriff in town.
So he just done effed around and messed everything up at this point.
Right, and then he got, what is it? One of the airports that they banned, Saudi Arabia done banned us from having any planes in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Because of him. So, bringing any, like our war planes, we can't bring none of our war planes over there because they're not trying to get in a fight with Iran.
Well, at the end of the day, we running out of ammunition also, aren't we?
Yeah, we running out of ammunition.
Our stockpile is getting very, very low, according to the generals and to the people that's leaking information. Yeah, and Senator Mark Kelly. He used to be I think he was in the Marines.
Yeah, and he was in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, and he's on the committee. He's on the committee for the what do you call it? Oh hell, I can't think of the committee. But anyway, he's on the committee, and he talk about the war, and he talk about about classified documents or what have you, and what's going on with our world affairs. And so Senator Mark Kelly told us that we're running out. Our supply stockpiles are getting low, and now Pete Hegseth want to try to charge him as saying that he's leaking classified information. And that man know better than that.
He's telling the truth, and what we need to know, because
he's on the affairs committee. That's what it's called. It just came to my mind. The affairs committee.
And he don't want nobody to know about it, because they're the ones that messed up, because they, you keep trying to blow up. Okay, you done went after Venezuela. You didn't wait a calm down from that. Now you sitting up there, you over there with Iran, and you can keep bombing and bombing and bombing and bombing. What you think? Eventually, you're not going to run out.
Well, also too, Foxy. Do you know they bought? You know, the Pentagon had the Department of War had a budget of 150 trillion dollars, right?
Right.
150 billion dollars. Do you know they've ran through that money already because of this war?
Yes, and that's why they're asking for the $1 trillion because they don't
Now they need a now they're asking for 1.5 trillion dollars more to support this war. Where the hell we gonna get 1.5 trillion dollars? Do we got that kind of money? I don't think we got that kind of money. What do you think?
We don't have that kind of money. We really, and what's going to happen is they do. That's why they're that's why we have it so. That's why they trying to get the Democrats to come over on their side so they can get that money. So they remember they did that bill where they were trying to add that in with the ICE and all them. Homeland Security, their budget. Remember he was trying to ease that in on that budget, and he's already talking about asking for more money for the ballroom, and he's already given out $1 million out to reline the reflecting pool. So you spending more money than you. And my thing is that nobody's looking at, well, I'm not saying nobody, but those that's voted him in now. Are y'all looking at how much money he's spending and how much money he's not putting back into the United States? He keep telling you everybody that the stock is good, but what about the people that's insurance, food, housing, gas? What about that for us?
Absolutely.
What has that?
He's forgetting all about us. And now that you bring that up, I do have I do have a clip of him saying something about that. Let's bring that clip up first. I knew we said we were going to talk about something else first, but let's just bring that up because guess what? That's a great segue into this video because guess what? Trump said he don't give a damn about you, me, and nobody else in America. Okay?
Okay. Let's go with that.
You to make a deal.
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing that matters.
Did you say earlier that the only thing that matters to you when it comes to Iran is a nuclear weapon? You're not considering the financial impact of this war on Americans?
The most important thing by far, including whether our stock market, which by the way is at an all-time high, but including whether or not our stock market goes up or down a little bit, the most important thing by far is Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
What about their weapons on Americans and prices right now?
Every American.
Did y'all, I want these people, all these MAGAs, all these that's for him. Did you just hear what he said? The stock market, if it go up or down, or if they have nuclear weapons. And he said he didn't give a rat's patootie, rat's ass, didn't give a dookabook about none of us. But this is a man that's supposed to be making America great. So he just told you he could care less about America being great. All he worried about is great for the stock market and Iran not have a nuclear weapon.
AKA rich people in the war. And shout out to Associated Press for providing this clip for us. But go ahead and finish, Fox.
So I'm letting you know, he's letting you know, since he been in office, you wasn't that important in the first place. He got your vote. He said when his campaign, if you go back and look at some of the clips, he said he likes the dumb people. So those that vote you in, he consider you dumb now. He don't give us. He don't.
That's not what he said. He said he like low educated people.
That's dumb people. Okay. Okay, low educated people. And everybody that do have an education, he called them low IQ. Okay. Then he sits back now. He just told you in your face on live TV that he don't care about our finances. All he care about is the stock market and the war in Iran for the nuclear weapon. Well, don't you think Russia got nuclear weapon? China got nuclear weapon. What's the other country over there in Asia?
Saudi Arabia or
Saudi Arabia got.
Are you saying in Asia?
In Asia,
China, Japan.
Japan got nuclear weapons.
North Korea.
Got nuclear weapons because they had to tell the North Korean guy to kind of calm down and using his so much because he about to flood them off the map.
Hey, Leo lady, thanks for joining us, sis.
Yes, thanks for joining us. But this is what I'm saying. He's not caring about you. He's already asking for $1 trillion to keep this war going. The more the war goes, the more money he makes, and all the rich people make, because what happens? The stock market goes up.
Listen, Linda, and he can stop the midterm elections.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's not forget the agenda.
Right.
Also, I believe he's going over there to Iran, like you said earlier, to ask President Xi to stop this war, because he done got himself into a pickle. He don't know what to do. Today, the Hormuz is open. Tomorrow is not. Today, Iran got a deal. He don't like it. They gonna cease fire. Then he opened fire. So basically, in my opinion, he don't really know what he doing. He done got himself into some mess he cannot get out of, and now he's going to go beg for help and mercy. What do you think, Fox?
Well, first of all, China, Russia, all of them told him don't go over there in the first place. Don't go hitting Iran in the first place. Now that he got the Strait of Hormuz closed, now everybody, all the countries got to pay to go through there now because Iran is running the show. Now, what do you have? Everybody got to pay now. Now you're going over there to China to see if they can stop giving them give them more ammo to fight us. And he ain't even coming down to greet you. So he's telling you what we got to talk about.
So to me, that would be a no.
Exactly. He said, what are we talking about? We warned you ahead of time, don't mess with them. You're going to do it anyway. It's going to mess everybody up. You didn't want it. You want to be show that you big bad wolf. And now look, you're sitting up there like what is it, Little Red Riding Hood? Mm-hmm. Now you're sitting up there looking like the wolf from the Little Red Riding Hood.
So China say, basically China saying F around and you gonna get to find out, Trump.
Yep, and he found out because they ignored the hell out of his ass.
Yep, he getting to find out. And also too, he never cared about the American public. He just, like you said, he just needed those people votes to get him in office. And now he could care less. He's a con man. He's a fraud, and he's a criminal. And so this is what criminals do. I mean, when you put a criminal in office, what do you expect? Some criminal shit to go on, and that's basically what's going on. Allegedly.
Look, he got y'all to vote the Obamacare out, which was an Affordable Care Act, but y'all didn't know that. All he kept saying Obama, so because he said Obama, y'all decided to vote that out. Now he said, I have a
which is a dog whistle.
Right. Then come to find out he has no plan for insurance. So now people are out here with no insurance. He done cut off a part of the the insurance plans. It got that so high that people got to pay money out of the yang now. Mm-hmm. The mortgage done gone up. What is it? In the southern states, Louisiana, I think it's Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, all of them that was getting that tax, they get taxes off of the
basically the South. Basically the South and everybody in the United States was getting everybody was getting a little piece of the pie to help with their electricity bills.
Right. It was all the states basically had grant.
Right. They all had a grant, but at the end of the day, the South can't afford. But at the end of the day, the South can't afford to pay their people. Now the North and the East, they got money.
Right.
Because that's who contribute the most taxes, to help support America federally, and they can still help their people out. It's the South that's going to suffer.
Right, and see, you got to think about it. All those grants that was issued out when they did the Doge, he got rid. When he let Elon Musk come in and Doge out everything, bulldoze everything, he took them grants away from the farmers for the electrical bill, gas bill. Now look at the gas is high. People can't even hardly go down the street without paying $5 for 1 gallon of gas. So, everything is going up.
Everything is a mess. You're absolutely right. and he let this foreigner, because Elon Musk is not an American, he let this foreigner come in, and who is the biggest warfare king in America, make
Right.
that shit make sense.
And see what
Come
it
in
was.
there and cut all the funding from everybody,
So
and
he could get
then
them contract. What it was, the government had okay. He came in and he tried to get government contract money for the truck, that Tesla truck,
mhm,
because it's supposed to be bulletproof and all this stuff. Where they found out do demonstration that the windows do break and the
mhm,
truck was not bulletproof, and plus it would damage more cars because it doesn't bend like most cars bend up.
mhm.
That truck don't bend at all. It would tear your car up, but the truck might get a scratch or two, but it won't bend. It's like the steel tank. So because
So
of that,
it's a semi tanker with
right,
non bulletproof windows.
right. So what happened was the government wouldn't fund him, wouldn't give him the
Mhm,
grant money. So when he went in and did Doge, he got that money. Plus he got the money for the satellites he got. He got 180 satellites in the sky. He got more satellites than the United States got up there in the sky. Uh, and he got all this money that he was turned down from the government from getting for grants. He got it now, so he done got his money and gone. Now
right.
he's over there in China with him trying to get more money.
Right, but I think he kind of got thrown out the White House after he did what he did with Doge. I don't think nobody, he was suffering financially and Trump was suffering politically, so they had to get him out of office. And welcome in, hey Vonda, madam, thank you for coming in tonight and welcome in. But let's just finish up this little one clip and then we'll go to our next clip, which we're going to talk about Alex Murdaugh too, because that's just something that some crime that I've been watching, but I just want to give you guys an update on that.
About Americans, how they're feeling about
Every American, are you listening to me? Every American understands, and they just had a poll, like 85%, which is surprising. It's only that they understand that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Okay.
Okay, well, we all understand that, and that's fine and dandy. But what are you doing about it?
Well, everybody got nuclear weapons. All the major countries got nuclear weapons. So why Iran the only one that you going after?
Mm-hmm.
China, Japan, Russia, Germany, us, several countries, Mexico, Africa, got nuclear weapons. So now all of a sudden you just going after Iran only?
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, you know why he's going after Iran, because his buddy over there in Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, asked him to do it, and like a fool, he did it. And now he's trying to worm himself out of it, and he's trying to figure out how he can get out of it. But nevertheless, let's talk about this other clip that we have going on, and this is about Alex Murdaugh. And let me bring it to the stage.
Stating that
let me cut it off for a sec. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Alex Murdaugh. He's from South Carolina. He's a lawyer that was convicted, I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago. He was convicted of unaliving his wife and his son. And basically, the jury found him guilty for that, for murdering his family members. And his verdict has been overturned by the South Carolina Supreme Court. And the reason why it was overturned, because the court clerk was trying to influence the jury. She told the jury to watch his body language, watch how he speaks, and basically kind of giving them some, really kind of giving them a dog whistle that he's probably guilty. Really, so that's jury tampering, number one, and it's really against the law. And I brought this clip up also because I wanted to make a parallel with Alex Murdaugh and just the regular, ordinary black man. I feel like if Alex Murdaugh last name was Alex Jones or Alex Smith, not Jones, but just Alex Smith or just any black name or Johnson or anything like that, if he was a black man, I don't think that the state Supreme Court would have overturned his conviction. I feel like they would have said that the jury has spoken. what she said didn't really influence the jury too much, and I don't think they would overturn his conviction. Now, the state of South Carolina is going to have to, this trial went on for 6 weeks, which was the longest trial history for them. It was the longest trial that they've ever had in the state of South Carolina, and it cost a lot of money to have this trial, and now they're going to have to go back and redo all of this again. But at the end of the day, regardless if they find him guilty or not guilty, he's still convicted of financial crimes, which they gave him 40 years. And Alex don't look like he's that old, and so he's still gonna, probably, live the rest of his days on this side of the earth in jail. But this is one less thing that he has to be concerned with if if he's found not guilty, if they even retry him again, because with him having those 40 years, the state of South Carolina may just say, well, he's in jail and we already convicted him of 40 years. Why spend the taxpayers' money, and let's not worry about it. But, we'll go ahead and get into the story unless you had any points that you want to say about this story, Foxy.
Well, he's 57 years old, so 40 years to the 57, he ain't making it out of their lives. So basically, he got life in prison for if they get him on the 40 years. So,
okay. So he gonna be like Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence in life.
Yeah, in life.
I forgot what their character names were. Hey, reversing high blood pressure. Thank you for joining us today. What was it, Claude and somebody else? It was Claude and I forgot the other guy's name. But Claude ain't getting out. Okay?
No, he ain't getting out, because if he's 57 now and he's already, and they gave him that 40 years with. He's gonna die in jail. He ain't gonna make it.
Because even and I think that's federal time also. So he'll have to do 85% of that time. So he basically probably won't make it out, in my opinion.
No, he won't see the light of day. He's gonna have 3 meals and a cot. That's all.
But at least he won't go down in here. If they don't retry him, or if they find him not guilty, at least he won't go down with with unaliving his family members.
Well,
do you think that's any comfort for him?
No. No, I'm gonna be straight up. Look, you said this is the hood night. No.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he can try to wiggle his way out of these financial crimes some kind of way also, but we'll see. But let's just go ahead and
that ain't gonna happen either.
That ain't gonna happen.
That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen, Captain.
Oh, okay. Well, you never know. Listen, he got this murder conviction overturned, so you never know what can happen.
Now, if he reach out to Trump, since Trump been so so handout.
Yeah, that's what he should do. Yeah, because they are federal crimes. So yeah, maybe he should reach out to the president, because Todd Chrisley got out and a lot of people got out because of Trump. So maybe that's the next step, and maybe he's planning an escape also. But I just want to say thank you, Fox News, for allowing us to use this news clip, and let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay.
The South Carolina Supreme Court justices have overturned Alec Murdaugh's murder convictions and have ordered a new trial. A little bit more information on this as you're taking a look at some footage of Murdaugh's previous trial right there. Now, Alec Murdaugh has admitted he is a thief, a liar, an insurance cheat, a drug addict, and a bad lawyer. But even as he remains in jail at this moment,
Well, damn, is it anything else left?
You hear me say, damn?
Baby, she ran that down all the way, did she not? You a thief.
A liar.
A fraudster.
And a drug addict.
Yeah, she called him everything except for the child of God.
She said he admitted it, that he was all these things. So he admitted.
But what he ain't is a murderer. Okay, is that basically what we're trying to get at? Okay, Alex.
Well, okay, Alex, have you heard about a thing called the Bible? It says sin is a sin. So you done named 4 or 5 of the sins. You might well add that.
One of the commandments is thou shalt not steal, is it not?
Yeah, steal, lie.
So I don't think you're gonna get to make it to heaven, partner. But
No,
like I said, see, I feel like, if he admitted to everybody that he's all of those things, he just don't want to go down as a murderer. And I don't blame Alex. I guess clean your record up any kind of way you can. I ain't mad at you, Alex.
well,
Continues to adamantly.
Oh,
when
go
they
ahead.
get in prison, if they
Mhm.
get into a public population,
Mhm.
a lot of those in there kind of frown on murderers more so
Mhm.
than they do, like white collar crimes. Like
Yeah, but he's famous though, so he ain't got no issues. He ain't got no problems.
look,
Hey, who
shit,
that? Thank you for coming in.
look, excuse the language, shit. They don't
especially
get
especially your own family, you would think, that he has some issues. But I watched the trial and I kind of been following Alec, and I haven't saw any stories where he been having any real time issues because he has money, and when you got money, that's power in prison. So I'm pretty
nah,
sure he buying his ass whoopings away.
no, no,
Okay, he
uh,
paying people not
now
to
look, wait a
he
minute.
paying people not to beat him up. Trust me when I tell you that.
Look, let me tell you something. He in South Kakalaki. He
Hmm.
is South Kakalaki, not Florida, not New York, not California, Texas. He ain't one of those places. He is South Kakalaki, one of the poorest states of the South. That ain't. He can have all the money in the world. Don't mean he gonna keep from getting an ass whipping.
Oh, okay. Well, let me finish on up with the clip.
Deny that he is a killer. Now, earlier this year, Murdoch's attorneys argued before the South Carolina Supreme Court, asking the justices to overturn the 2 murder convictions and life sentence Murdoch is serving for the shooting deaths of his wife Maggie and younger son Paul outside of their home in June of 2021. The defense's argue that the trial judge made rulings that prevented a fair trial, such as allowing in evidence of Murdoch's stealing from clients that had nothing to do with the killings, but biased jurors against him. They also detailed the lack of physical evidence. No DNA or blood was found splattered on Murdoch or any of his clothes, even though the killings were at close range with powerful weapons that were never found. And they also said the court clerk assigned to oversee the evidence and the jury during the trial influenced jurors to find Murdoch guilty, hoping to improve sales of a book she was writing about the case. Now, she has pleaded guilty to lying about what she said and did to a different judge. Prosecutors argued the clerk's comments were fleeting and the evidence against Murdoch was overwhelming. His lawyer said that didn't matter because the comments a juror said that she made, which were urging jurors to watch Murdoch's body language and listen to his testimony carefully, removed his presumption of innocence before the jury ever deliberated. So we are continuing to follow this. And this is a social media post from Fox True Crime saying South Carolina Supreme Court has reversed Alec Murdaugh's murder conviction in the deaths of his wife and son. The jurors found former Colton County Clerk of Court Rebecca Hill, who we were just talking about, improperly influenced the jury and deprived Murdoch of his right to a fair trial. So we are continuing to follow this breaking news as we have learned that the South Carolina Supreme Court has now reversed Alec Murdaugh's murder conviction in the deaths of his wife and son. Any additional?
Okay,
Now,
how
see,
many?
both of us had something to say. But go ahead, and then I'll speak. I'll speak after you. Go ahead.
How many of us brown skinned people,
Mhm.
has been gone to jail with less proof of crime? Now remember they said no gun. A lot of ours have gone to jail for no guns or no weapons. No
Mhm.
blood splattered on them. There's a lot of them that doesn't have no blood splattered on them and they still went to jail and did time. So
Baby, we got people that's done confessed to a murder here in Texas, and they still say, you going to the chair.
right. So you got people that, that's going to jail and going to life in prison that has less evidence than what they just finished saying. The same amount of evidence he got, but they're going to dismiss it because of her.
Well, in his defense, though, that was a lot for them, to convict him on that was wrong, though, to
Yeah.
insert the financial crimes in there for her to and try to influence the jury just so that she can write a book. And I hope that they're charging her also. I hope she'll go to jail, and I hope they take that proceeds from her book and just stop her from making money from that book. Now I don't know if that's constitutional or not.
She could get in trouble for that too.
But could they stop the sale of the book though?
Yeah, they can stop her from selling the book because it's false information. And if she's doing it as a biography and not as a fiction, they can get her for that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure however she's doing it, she gonna fix it up so she can sell it. You can rest assured of that.
But also,
that's business in America.
Now his family, if he got any family, besides his wife, like mother, daughters, nieces, nephews, whatever, his family can go after her for the proceeds of, like they did with what's his name? What's his name? He was a football player. Remember the family went out for Nicole and OJ. OJ. Remember the family went and got for the proceeds and got him.
How you gonna forget the most famous black man on earth?
You hear me say I can remember the woman. What's
his name?
I can remember OJ. Look, and you think I wouldn't remember
the most hated man in America?
Look, with the glove that don't fit.
Right. You must have quit.
Yes.
And baby, that's exactly what they did. They did quit.
Yep, and then they turned around and got him for all the money he had. So they can get her for all the proceeds that she do if she continue with that book afterwards. So she can still get in trouble if she don't do it the right way. So he can still make money just sitting behind the bars from his family.
Yeah. Yep. Well,
so, I see that they really didn't have any evidence. They don't have any evidence. They can't find the weapons. There was no blood on him, no scars, no nothing. They have no evidence of him being involved in it at all. But it's kind of a little coincidental.
He's a lawyer. Now keep in mind now, he is a lawyer.
Right? And he do know how to go through the loopholes.
Yeah, he do know how to cover up a crime. I'm just, allegedly, I'm just saying. So let's not be too hasty and too quick to say he's innocent.
I didn't say he was innocent.
And he is innocent until proven guilty again, because he have been found guilty once, but that's overthrown. So that make him innocent again until proven guilty. But also, I just don't want you to forget about his background.
But see, now that all she did, that lady, what the clerk did was give them more room to find more discovery,
right,
to help to make him look innocent. So she gave
now to
him
make
more
him
time.
look guilty.
No, but his lawyer.
Oh, his lawyer. Yeah. She definitely gave his lawyer this appeals case. She set that right on up. Yeah, and they found that out right away. I mean, as soon as he got convicted, probably within a week or two later, they came up with this defense, and they probably knew it all along, and that's why they didn't mind, going through the trial and let them pay. These lawyers are smart, so they let them pay they let the taxpayers pay for this big long trial, and just let it go through all the motions, and then come right back and file an appeal. Okay, so you did this wrong, you did that wrong, and the other wrong, and they made a statement too. Right after he got convicted, they made a statement and say, well, there was a lot of things wrong with this trial. We will be appealing. So they were taking notes as they went, and they were watching everything as they as it went along. But I'm on the fence. I don't know if Alec did it or not. I just don't know. And
it's just too coincidental for me.
Yeah, they couldn't find nobody else, and then somebody else came up on the live on his property. One of his son's friends, that nobody ever found out who did what, and the way the housekeeper testified against him, the housekeeper made him look guilty. I'm just saying, the housekeeper,
Yeah, she did. Yeah. But what I'm saying, you got to have they got to show the abundance of evidence that he's guilty, and a lot of things kind of, and when she did what she did, she kind of helped his lawyer to dig more to try to help him to be more innocent, give him more time. So she kind of messed that up.
But Alec was a crook though. He did defraud a lot of people out their money, including his own law firm. But he admitted to it though. You know, he said he is all of that. He just ain't no killer. They say
Yeah, he said, "Look, I could be everything else, but I ain't no, I ain't taking no lives now. Look, I draw the line with that now. Wait a minute, hold up. No, he said, hold up, homie.
Alice said, don't be messing up his face card, okay?
Right.
So he might get out one day and he don't need y'all messing up his face card.
Right. He
But
said, I might want to find me another woman, and she gonna be scared I'm a killer. No, y'all messing that all up.
Oh yeah, he definitely gonna get another woman. You can rest assured of that. You know, if he get to set free, if he get to set foot on some free land, he definitely going to go look for his next wife, and he gonna try to see if she got some coins like his first wife did.
Well, all he had to do go to Costa Rica and follow Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, her husband went over there with her.
Well, she was cheating on her husband when
she taken.
Wait a minute, no, she was cheating on her husband here. So what's the difference?
Yeah, but she taken now though. She's taken. Yeah. Her husband went over there with her, and we're gonna talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene later on in the show. But let's get into Trump and his ballroom. You know, Trump said that this ballroom was going to cost initially $300 million, and that his donors were going to pay for it. And then one week he said it's $400 million, and now it's up to $1 billion because he said he doubled the size. So now, and also he wants the taxpayers to pay it since he was shot at and almost unalived at the correspondence dinner. So it all kind of go hand in hand for him. I can't put it together like he's putting it together. But Trump said, you know, it all makes sense to him, and that's the way it looked like to him, that, you know, the taxpayers need to pay for his security, basically, for this ballroom. That's not going to be built until after he leave office, so that doesn't make sense to me either, but he still want it.
My thing is, how they were shooting at you when they was on the top floor, you on the bottom floor. Where were you?
Well, I think if you just got bullets anywhere in the vicinity of the president, then maybe the president is the target. Is basically how Trump must be thinking about this. I don't know.
Well, from what I thought, it was he was going after Vance because that's the first one they took out.
Well, I guess Vance is more important than Trump.
Yeah, they got to keep him
around.
He
was making a speech and he talked about that too. He said, yeah, they wheeled Vance out of here before they wheeled me out.
He sure did. I bet that lets you know how important the Secret Service thought you were.
I think it's important, my theory, that they finna get rid of Trump and they're gonna try to make Vance the president. That's just a theory of mine. I don't have no proof for anything, but that's just my little theory. You know, well, ain't got no proof, but that's just what I think. The way things are going and the way the country is turning against the president and the Republicans, I'm thinking that they're going to try to, you know, ice Trump out the way and get him out the way and let J.D. Vance be the president. Actually, I saw a clip about it today. And so Robert Reich said that he heard through the grapevine that that's the plan, that they're trying to get J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio to invoke the 25th Amendment. And J.D. Vance is going to make Marco Rubio the vice president if he go along with it. But I think they some punks. I don't think they're going to do it. What you think?
I don't think they're going to do it. You're right.
Because it might fail. It might not go through.
Okay, hi, who that?
That plan may not go through.
Look, hi, who that? And as our girls say on the other night show, Selena. Hi, SBK.
Well, thank you guys for joining the show.
Yeah, thank you.
What's up, Selena and SBK and who that?
Yes, welcome.
All right. Okay, so
I'll give you a fair warning right now. We have a thunderstorm here where I'm at. So if I go out, continue on. I'll get back on if the power go out or anything.
It's okay. It's okay.
Just want to let you know.
That's okay. I understand.
Well, let's go. Next.
Let's get into your boy.
How's that different than your ballroom?
So what happened is we have a ballroom that's under budget. It's going up right here. I've doubled the size of it because we obviously need that. And we're right now on budget, under budget, and ahead of schedule.
Now, how the hell can you be on budget and under budget?
Wait a minute. On budget.
What I said was we gonna double the ballroom and it's on budget, but it's under budget. But yeah, we need that.
Wait a minute. You're under budget. Wait a minute. You're on budget, under budget.
You're on budget, but you under budget.
Right.
I mean, just start outline.
With him and his
Couldn't even
toupee.
get the first sentence out without lying, but let's hear Tweedledee. let's let Pinocchio finish up.
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person.
Oh.
You are not a smart person. Right over here. Wait a minute. Right over here. And based on a lot of things that have happened over the last year, we doubled the size of the ballroom. So we're going to have a ballroom that's appropriate for the White House. We doubled the size. The ballroom now is ahead of schedule, and it's a little bit under budget, depending on the finishes that we use.
Okay, wait a minute. Did he just call that person a dumb person?
Yep, he said you're a dumb person. And
he's talking about I'm doubling you, big dummy.
And shout out to C-SPAN for allowing us to use this video. But you know, he love to attack women. He doesn't attack men like this. He only attacks women. And he doesn't like it because the women try to hold his feet to the fire. They ask the correct questions and he don't like it. So anytime anybody asks him a question that he don't like, then he start belittling you. And that's basically what he's doing.
Wife. Well, you can tell he don't like his wife because she's
and the feeling is mutual. She don't act like she like him because every time you try to hold her hand, she shoo it away. So
she's slapping away and shoo it away.
Right. But basically, it's deflection is basically what he's doing. So, you know, when he don't have an answer for you, then he's going to start trying to degrade you, basically, is what's going on, in my opinion.
He does. It does it on every question. If it's a question that he can't, articulate at that moment, he'll start saying, "Oh, that's a dumb question," or "That's real dumb," or "That's stupid," and da 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 da.
And lo and behold, don't bring them damn Epstein files up, boy. He really get off the chain then when them Epstein files come up.
Yes, and I ran to them doing them Legos. I mean, what is it? Yeah, Lego videos. They be tearing his hind part up with
they turn him up. They turn him up on those Legos.
So what happened is we have a ballroom that's under budget. It's going up right here. I've doubled the size of it because we obviously need that. And we're right now on budget, under budget, and ahead of schedule. I doubled the size of it, you dumb person.
Ooh.
Double the size. You are not a smart person. Right over here. Wait a minute. Right over here. And based on a lot of things that have happened over.
I hope that helicopter, like y'all talk about that toupee. I hope that helicopter whisked that toupee away from his head.
He got super glue on that toupee.
Here, we doubled the size of the ballroom, so we're going to have a ballroom that's appropriate for the White House. We doubled the size. The ballroom now is ahead of schedule, and it's a little bit under budget, depending on the finishes that we use.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. My hand up. It's ahead of schedule. It's still over there in rubbish. How's it ahead of schedule?
Yeah, he needed got permission to build it, so he full of shit.
Wait a minute. He says, okay, I live in the area where the White House, close to the White House, and I have been by there a few times, and it's still rubble out there, you all. It's still rubble. It's not
dirt and rubble.
They removed some of it, but it's still a lot of rubble out there. So it's not as ahead of time as he said it is. No, it ain't ahead of nothing.
Yeah.
By the time that ballroom even gets started, he'd be going out the door. If he ain't, let's say it like this: allegedly out the door, out the door, another two ways.
Mm-hmm.
Walk in a carriage. One of the two, he's gonna be out that door.
I think they're gonna probably have to carry him out though, because he love being in power. So,
well, they
bless his heart. It's basically bless his heart.
Yeah,
He needs some help for real.
because I don't think he's gonna make it the next 3 years. I really don't.
Mm. Well, he ain't got but 2.5 to go, so that's fine.
Look, he got bags under his eyes. We ain't even in here yet. He still got 3 more to go.
That's because he don't go to sleep at night. You have bags too if you stayed up all night, tweeting on Twitter.
Wait a minute. What SBK say? SBK said
ankles all swollen. It's like a pregnant woman. Exactly. Exactly. Handmade all up, face made up, diaper, toothpaste. He put all of that in the other posts that he had on there.
So what happened is we have a ballroom that's under budget. It's going up right here. I've doubled the size of it because we obviously need that. And we're right now on budget, under budget, and ahead of schedule. I doubled the size of it, you dumb person. Double the size. You are not a smart person.
And I would have said that. Neither are you.
Right over here. Wait a minute. Right over here. And based on a lot of things that have happened over the last year, we doubled the size of the ballroom. So we're going to have a ballroom that's appropriate for the White House. We doubled the size. The ballroom now is ahead of schedule, and it's a little bit under budget, depending on the finishes that we use.
You hear the branding of it all? It's under schedule, and it's under budget, and it's on schedule. He just keeps saying the same thing, because that's one thing this dude know how to do, and that's brand. He know how to brand his message, and he want to make sure that you know that it's doubled, it's under budget, and it's on schedule.
Right, and look, we already paid out $62 billion for this war. Now we paying out, I forgot how much it was. $1
billion for this. He want $1 billion for this ballroom.
Wait a minute, we ain't finished now. Don't forget the reflecting pool for the man to redo the reflecting pool.
Right.
The surface it like what got me was why
he got dirt from the rubble. He took dirt from the rubble from the turned down the east wing and put it in the reflector pool, and then said the reflector pool was dirty and it need fixing. So he creates all of these issues just so he can go put the fire out. Now make sense. Now that's y'all president.
Wait a minute, now he drained the water now, right? They're driving the vehicles over the reflecting pool, right? The bottom of it. Okay. Do he not know that we are on a plateau? We at water line. We at the water line. So the more weight that they put on that reflector pool, the more it damaged that reflector pool. So when he basically he messed the pool up.
Basically, he think he's slick. He want to try to go around and build arches and pools and ballrooms and put his name all on Washington, the White House, building golden statues of himself in Mar-a-Lago, and he's just trying to brand his name all over the United States. And even John Cornyn submitted a bill talking about he want to make one of the interstates in Texas Trump Interstate.
Well, he's trying to go over here at Dulles Airport and try to make it Trump Airport.
Yeah, and the Kennedy Center, he got his name on the Trump. He's got Trump Kennedy Center, and he's trying to put his damn picture on the passport, put his signature on the dollar bill. So any kind of way he can brand his name and try to make us remember him in history, that's what he's trying to do. But I got some good news for him. I got some real good news for him. It doesn't matter what he brand, what he build, what he do. The next president is going to tear all of that shit down.
Right. And Dulles Airport said, hell to the no. Just like they did down there in Florida. He was trying to make the airport there and put it in his name, and they said no.
And nobody want to be remember. Nobody want to remember him. He's gonna go down in history as one of the worst presidents in history, and he will be studied in history of things that the country should not do, and the type of people that they should not elect based on his behavior, based on his demeanor, based on his actions, and based on the destruction that he's caused America. So while he's thinking he's gonna go down as a hero or a martyr or whatever he thinking, he gonna go down as the worst person in history, basically.
Right. And it's sad because what president have you? What president? I want people to really think back. All those that remember the different president. What president have you had that stands up there and tell reporters you're a dumb person? I'll wait. What president has turned around and now got rid of, I think it's May the 21st, all the nighttime comedians, the nighttime show comedians are going to meet up because I think Colbert, his last show is May the 21st. He's already trying to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. Basically, he's trying to get rid of all the nighttime shows where nobody could talk about him at all. And he's going after The View. I've heard they're going after The View because
but ABC is fighting back though. ABC fighting them back.
Yeah, because he's trying to get any station that is not talking about him in a positive way.
Well, hell, that means he got to take everybody out because even Fox talking about him at this point.
Well, he's going after Fox. Remember, he's going after
Larry
Fox.
Kudlow. And Larry Kudlow is talking about him. So, when Larry Kudlow start talking about the stock market, which is his buddy, he in trouble when he get Larry from his side. And then all the MAGA is infight because of him. And the MAGA influences are turning against him also.
Look, SBK said none of them. Even Bush didn't disrespect the media.
Right.
No, none of them. And Bush, look, I'm going to tell you like this. This is how I was looking at it. I said, I take Bush Jr. back, even though he was him or Nixon. To compare to him,
I just don't think Bush was that bad of a president. And the only reason why I say that because Bush allowed me to get whatever I want to get. I bought a house and a car when Bush was in office.
Wait a minute, I have to give it to Bush Jr. When I was working in the federal government, we was working on the scale at that time, the GS scales, and we had to do these like a essay to go to a next position. When he came in, he brought in that nobody have to do none of that no more. You just come in with your resume.
He'll see student. He don't want y'all to have to be thinking too much.
So when he came in and told us that we had to do all we had to do is submit a resume. And contract, he brought in the contractors and the resumes. Man, when you're in the federal government, those that don't know about the federal government as far as the GS levels, you only get a step. That's like maybe $1,000 to $2,000 raise for a year. Whereas when you contracting, you got way more money through a contracting than you did with GS. So, and then plus GS employees, if you were there and you career conditional, you had 3 years. After those 3 years, if you did not make it career status, you could be let go. But if you became a career status, it would take the Congress to get you out. Now, because of the contract, a lot of the federal government employees that are not working good can get put out. Now, if they were still under the GS, when they were doing Doge, none of them employees would have been able to be taken out of there. Why? Because they was under GS, and once they was under GS, that was no. You couldn't touch them at all. It had to take Congress to get them out. The president couldn't take them out. So now the way they got it structured, they're using the people.
Ain't nobody there no more, so it don't even matter. And I'm not trying to disregard your point, but it's irrelevant because remember, Trump hollowed out the federal government. We ain't got no employees no more. Remember, over 300,000 black people lost their jobs when Trump got to office because of Doge. So nobody have to worry about keeping their job no more other than the cabinet at this point, in my opinion.
Right now, and the Supreme Court.
Well, we'll get to that too. Let me address this point. He said, SBK said, Queen, don't forget the Bush family love to be in wars also. Yeah, they started a war in Iraq, and let's not forget Bush robbed us blind and left the economy on the brinks of nothing. Remember,
Right.
Obama had to go in there and fix everything. But one thing about Bush that I can say, Bush robbed the country, but he also allowed the country to rob the country.
Right. That part.
he
That part.
let everybody get a piece of the pie. Okay,
Exactly.
he filled up his pockets, and he allowed you to fill up your pockets also. So that's the difference in Bush and Trump, because Trump don't give a dang about nobody. He just filling up his pockets and his family pockets, and he don't care about your pockets. But that's the difference between Bush and Trump, in my opinion. Yeah, he did have us in the Iraq war, so I'm not gonna forget that.
But yeah, he did have us in a war. But one thing, like you said, look, I made more money when Bush was in there. Him and Reagan, oh man, I was making.
I was booming. Our company was booming when Bush was in office. Listen, I'm not mad at Bush.
Girl, I was making man. And then when he created Homeland Security, and I got into Homeland, oh girl, I was really balling then. You can tell me, gee, I was making great money.
Well, let's get into Abby Phillips, and we're going to talk about the voting rights. We're going to try to turn the page a little bit and stop and not focus on Agent Orange so much. And let's get into the voting rights, because we have been having they've been waging war. Hold on a sec. They've been waging
the South Carolina Senate.
Wait, hold on. They've been waging war on the American Black public.
Yes.
Okay. And so they are trying to take our right to vote away. All the southern states have basically eliminated all of the black districts and kind of lumped them into other districts so that they won't have a black voice in the House. And so Trump is the one who actually kicked it off when he asked Texas to give him 5 more Republican seats. California counteracted with that with Gavin Newsom. And so they redistricts, and they're going to get 5 additional seats also. And then it just kind of been like a domino effect. Supreme Court set it all up with the Louisiana redistricting law, and told Louisiana that they can go ahead and redistrict. Even though their election had already started, they said that they can go ahead and redraw maps. So Louisiana halted their election just so that they can redistrict and take the black vote out of the pool. But it all can backfire on them. And the reason why it can backfire on them, because all they're doing is creating independent. When you lump Democrats and Republicans together, you run the risk of some of those Republicans and Democrats voting on the same level or voting for the same person, which is going to actually not put you in office. It's really going to hurt you. So some of these people with this redistricting, some of these states are really kind of messing themselves up. Even Texas messed themselves up, because now it's projected that they're not going to even get all 5 seats. It's projected that they're only going to get 3 of those seats, and the other 2 going to go to Democrats, because they did that with the Spanish population. And the Spanish population is not on board with Trump anymore because of deportation and the immigration laws. And so I think these Republicans done put their foot in their own mouth, and they just haven't realized it yet. And Nana Nini says he's not that dumb, because he tore it down knowing the people would want it rebuilt. Well, at this point, Nana, I don't think nobody care about anything being rebuilt right now. People care about their pocketbook and how they buy a tank of gas. And since these companies don't water the gas down, it's not even lasting a whole week, and it's costing more to fill your vehicle up. And so I think the people are more concerned about their cost of living than they are about building some ballroom, reflector pool, arches, and anything else that Trump's trying to rebuild. Did you have anything that you wanted to reiterate on before I start the clip, Foxy? And shout out to CNN News for this news clip.
Yes, go ahead and roll the clip. Roll the clip, my queen.
Okay.
Good evening, I'm Abby Phillip in New York. Tonight, it's spreading. A battle over redistricting that is playing out at the Supreme Court as Republicans and Democrats try to gain an edge in November's midterm elections. Today, the court's conservative majority cleared the way for Alabama to use a new congressional map that would eliminate a district currently held by a black Democrat. The Supreme Court offered no explanation in its order, which tosses out a lower court decision that blocked the use of that 2023 map. But Justice Sonia Sotomayor joined the court's other two liberals and said that the order was inappropriate and that it will cause confusion as voters head into the polls in the next week's election. The decision hands yet another victory to Republicans just days after Virginia's Supreme Court struck down a measure that would have allowed Democrats to redraw congressional maps in their favor. Virginia Democrats are now asking the Supreme Court to reinstate that map. That seems like a bit of a Hail Mary pass there on the part of Virginia Democrats. But the broader issue is that, especially when you look at what's happening in Alabama, there's already voting underway in that state. They are planning to toss out that map, go with a new map that favors Republicans, eliminates a black district. And then you have the President Trump, sending a message to South Carolina, your home state, Bakari, saying the South Carolina State Senate has a big vote tomorrow on redistricting. He says, Republicans, be bold and courageous, just like the Republicans of the great state of Tennessee.
Let me pause that for a second. South Carolina already said that will be a no. They're out of session. They're not going to call a special session just to redo the maps. And so Congress voted that down. So that's not happening.
Were last week, move the U.S. House primaries to August, leave the rest on the same schedule. Everything will be fine. Get it done. So we're going beyond new maps here. Now we're tinkering with the calendar. People are voting. Maybe those votes get thrown out. It's chaos.
I mean, not only is it chaos, but you're literally throwing out votes, as you said. I mean, I watched 60 Minutes with Governor Landry from Louisiana throwing out votes, and he chuckled about it. In South Carolina, people have already voted from overseas, and you chuckle about it. But I want to take a step back and look at this from a 50,000-foot view, to be completely honest. I think Ashley and I have to wrestle with the fact that we are going to be the first generation to actually leave this country worse than the one that we inherited. And I think for Black millennials, the progress that our parents and grandparents gave us, that we're watching being ripped away from us, is something that our generation is going to have to really wrestle with in figuring out how we get out of this conundrum. If somebody fell asleep in 1896 and woke up today in 2026, they would simply say the only difference is now Negroes have a TV show and we wear nice suits. They swapped out Klan hoods for Brooks Brothers suits. And that is the problem. I mean, Plessy v. Ferguson was 7-1, and it gave birth to 50 years of Jim Crow. What we have with this court right now, what we're seeing is watching people who have fought and died and bled so that we would have access to the ballot box, so that we would have access to our voices being heard in Congress, being ripped away. And I think that there is a casual laughter from people we believe to be our friends on the right who are showing us true colors today, because the most sacred, or one of the most sacred acts you have in the United States of America is the ability to cast a ballot and elect someone and send them to Congress, the State House, or a mayoral seat that represents your interest. And now Black folks throughout the South are being silenced. And I don't find that to be a laughing matter.
Well, Scott, I mean,
Now, he just said a mouthful. They're going to be the first generation that's been rolled back. And it's not going to have the same rights as his parents and grandparents had. And
Nope,
for the
not at
South,
all.
yeah. And he said our friends in the South has never been our friends. I don't know what island Bakari's been living on, but racism has always existed in the South. They have always tried to wash away our vote or take our vote away. And they've always redistricted our vote, and they always try to get us not to vote. They've even come up with sending out flyers to send you to the voting poll on the next day when voting is not even there. They've tried all kind of tricks and shenanigans, and they pulled all kind of strings to try to stop us from voting. So this is nothing new. I don't know why Bakari is so surprised about this. This is nothing new under the sun. And democracy is something that you have to fight for every day, all day, because you do have white supremacists in America, and they're not going anywhere. Even if the older people, the older white supremacists die off, they still have their children that they embedded this ideology to, right? They've taught their kids and their grandkids to be white supremacists, and so it's gonna be, as long as America is here. I feel like white supremacy is here, and you're gonna have to stay on the battlefield, and you're gonna have to keep fighting for your rights until you can't fight anymore, and until they throw some dirt in your face, because that's just the way I feel about it. I don't think it's ever gonna leave America, because that's what America was founded on.
And to me, it seemed like it brought it, with him being in office now, it has brought out more ever since the election, all this foolery in regards to how to, cheat. Because remember, he keeps saying the Democrats cheating, but it look like you all doing more cheating than we are. We just came back. You started off with Texas. So now, remember, he was the same one that said with Georgia, he said, I need so many more votes.
Yeah, 781 votes, one more than he needs.
Right. And remember, he was doing that with Georgia. He wanted that man to go against his morals.
He wanted Brad Raffensperger to find him some votes.
And
he
then
wanted him to keep in. But anytime he talk, it's always projection or deflection. Because whatever he accused the Democrats of, that's basically what he is. And that's one thing about him. We always know what his hand is. We always know what he's thinking, because he's gonna say it out loud. Now, he may accuse the other side of doing it, but in actuality, it's what he's doing.
Exactly. He's telling you what he's doing, but blaming it on the Democrats.
Exactly. And some people buying the bull crap.
They sure are. But some of them are learning. Look, some of them are FAFO around.
Yeah, they FF. I got an FAFO on here too.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to see later on in the show.
If this were just about partisan gerrymandering, I think that'd be one conversation. But I think part of what's happening right now is that we're in the middle of a political cycle, and maps are changing. I was reading an article today about Tennessee, and the lead of the article was two neighbors literally across the street from each other, one white and one black, now in Memphis in different districts. So it's more than just, are we redistricting according to partisanship? It's also, what are we doing in terms of creating a precedent for the use of power across the country, in red states and in blue states?
Yeah, it's a good question about redrawing in the middle of an ongoing election. In the case of Louisiana, they didn't have a choice. The Supreme Court said their maps were unconstitutional. They had to redraw it, and so what they chose to do was move the House back to the fall, and they'll leave the Senate primary in place, which is actually happening right now. So I get the argument about a little bit of confusion for voters. I mean, around the edges of congressional districts, you're always going to have some areas where, one person on one side of the street, one person on the other. I live on the very western edge of a congressional district in Kentucky. In fact, if I might respectfully debate Bakari on this for a moment, to me, I heard you say that people are losing representation, people are losing their voice. No voter has lost their voice at all. No one's been disenfranchised. Every voter in America before these court rulings could go cast a ballot this November, and every voter in America, white, black, or otherwise, can go cast a ballot right now. The lines may be changing, but every voter still has the same amount of voting power, one vote, that they had. It's just,
as soon as California went all Democrats, because they did that, they voted on to change their maps. And if Virginia get their maps overturned, because they're taking theirs to the Supreme Court, that was just the state Supreme Court that voted them down, so they still can go to the Supreme Court and have the Supreme Court change the maps back, because the voters did vote on it. It's not like Texas and a lot of these other states, Tennessee and I forgot, Oklahoma, Alabama. A lot, they didn't even ask the voters. They just came up on, brought it up on themselves to change the maps. But California and Virginia voted on the maps. And so as soon as that goes through, watch Scott sing a different tune. And if the shoe was on the other foot, where they disenfranchised white voters, he would have a whole different argument. So miss me with this BS, Scott. And CNN must have got on his butt about Adam Mockler because he's being real nice. He said he respectfully want to disagree with Bakari. I've never heard him be that nice to anybody. Have you?
Nope. Yeah, because he was real nasty. I think what messed him up was when he told him, "Get your hand out of my, you get your effing hand out of my face."
And his hand wasn't in it, and his hand wasn't in his face though.
Right.
He was just moving his hands, but you know, if you would have scooted over you wouldn't have to worry about his hands being close to your face that way. But you know, Scott is kind of changing his tune. But he's not changing his tune, but he's being a little bit nicer about his little arguments. I noticed.
Yeah, he calmed down because they had to get on him about that because he used the F word in that. He said,
and probably told him, you ain't gonna be here, so you know he can stop wanting that paycheck, so he's gonna be a little bit nicer when he do his counter argument. Look like to me,
right? Because he said, we want you, I want you to counter argue, but don't get indignant with it.
No, just learn how to debate, sir. That's basically what this is. Just learn how to debate effectively is basically what he needs to do.
Right.
That this Supreme Court said your race doesn't necessarily have to dictate your political identity. The fact that you're an American citizen and your franchise gives you one vote, that is your political identity. And it is incumbent upon both parties, Republicans and Democrats, to run people who speak not to just one constituency, but all American interests. To me, that's how the November election should be run.
Yeah, please.
Go ahead, Ashley.
I might agree with you if they hadn't said something different 3 years ago. We aren't talking about in Alabama a district that existed when my grandmother was alive. We're talking about a district that was drawn in 2023 because there are injustices that are still being placed. We're talking about Memphis, where we're not like, it's not just one person across the street. They split a whole city into 3 to make black voters have less power in House maps. The Voting Rights Act, which actually was the last time it actually was reauthorized, was under your boss, George W. Bush. It used to be a bipartisan thing. It used to be clear that the backdrop of this country, there is discrimination now. There was pervasive discrimination when the law was signed into law during the Civil Rights Movement. We can all go into our partisan corners, but to act like what is happening right now is not a direct attack on black voters' power, black voters' ability to represent themselves. Now, we had this conversation yesterday, Scott. Black voters are allowed to elect whoever they want. And in 2024, they did. They elected a black Democrat in that new district in Alabama. That black Democrat went through a primary of 13 people, and black voters found the agency to come and decide how that primary now will be erased. And put a black Republican up in that district if you want black voters to have the choice. But they're not. That's not what's happening. It is a dissemination, a distribution of black power. And to call it anything other than that, I just think is being historically ignoring the past of our country and pretending like we're not trying to drive our country to a different type of future.
Ellie, Ashley just raised an important point, which is that this Supreme Court in 2023 said that Alabama needed to have that second district. Yep. And they did so on the basis of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Let me just read a part of the ruling. This was written by the Chief Justice John Roberts. He says, we held over 40 years ago that even Section 1 of the 15th Amendment prohibits only purposeful discrimination. The prior decisions of this court foreclose any argument that Congress may not, pursuant to Section 2 of the 15th Amendment, outlaw voting practices that are discriminatory in effect. Discriminatory in effect. So now they're saying the exact opposite, and they didn't even bother to explain the contradiction in their decision today.
Yeah, the whole world of politics and voting is changing really quick, to your point, Bakari. The world is very different now than it was 2 weeks ago because we got the Louisiana decision, which essentially ended the Voting Rights Act. People's heads...
Plessy v. Ferguson, just for context, was from where?
Right.
Louisiana.
Okay.
But I would say get it right, dog.
People's heads are spinning because you're Alabama, Louisiana,
exactly.
Tennessee,
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Let me give you sort of a universal theory how to make sense of all this craziness. Whether it's good or bad, you all will continue to debate, but I'll tell you how the best I can make of what's happening right now with the law. First of all, it is essentially up to the states. And when I say the states, I mean the legislatures, the voters, governors, the state courts, right? And if a state wants to partisan gerrymander to an extreme, For the most part, they can. If you're California and you're 60-40 Democrat and you want to go all blue, basically you can. If you're Texas, opposite, you want to go all red, you basically can. That's rule number one. Rule number two is every state has its own rules, and they vary tremendously. Sometimes it has to go to referendum. Sometimes it has to go to the governor. The states have to follow their own rules. That's Virginia, which did not follow its own rules. That's why Virginia is going to lose their map, and I don't think the Supreme Court can intervene. And then point three, and this is what we're all talking about now, is the Supreme Court has changed their position from even a few years ago to where it's now basically, we're not going to police any of this unless there's racial discrimination either way. So you can no longer try to specifically carve out a majority black district or two. And if states have done that, or if people want to say states have done this, this is what's happening in Alabama, in South Carolina, probably in Tennessee. They can say, well, that was a district that we carved out to be specifically majority black. Now we want to undo it. And that's why this is happening day by day, hour by hour. It's a whole new world out
One
there.
of the interesting things about Tennessee that we should also keep in mind is that that Tennessee district that they did away with.
But why is he saying that it's the state's decisions? Because the Supreme Court continues to intervene.
Well, okay. Each state has a Supreme Court too. So
I understand that, and I
so the
understand
state
that,
Supreme Court overruled that.
the voters. They're
Right.
overruling the voters, but they're still taking it to the Supreme Court.
Well,
So
the Supreme Court has to. They said the only time they intervene if they can show that it's being prejudiced. Which, like he said, certain states it is showing that it is prejudice. So the Supreme Court going to have to intervene now in those states.
yeah, but the Supreme Court changing their mind. They're making this shit up on the fly.
Well, they've been making up shit on the fly now because they're like, look, I ain't got that long to live. I'm being here forever. So hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, but the Supreme Court needs to be reformed. In my opinion, all of these courts need to be reformed because they're not going by law. They're going by partisanship, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, you know, Trump went up there. They said the first time we ever had a president to go up there and sit through one of their hearings, which was illegal. And
To try to intimidate them.
Right, and that didn't work. So, you know, I think what it is, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is just my opinion. The Supreme Court is now saying that he's gone a little, certain things he's going a little too far with, that they're gonna have to ring him in. That's why he's saying such negative things about the Supreme Court now, because he thought they were gonna just let him just do they just sit back and watch him do what he wanted to do. And certain things they're coming down on him about, he ain't liking it.
Well, they ain't coming down too much, in my opinion. They basically giving him what he wants, in my opinion. They give him 5 things, and then one thing they may say no to.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They're coming down. They're coming down, whereas before he was like, yeah. But now this war has kind of making them do a little looking at him now, because you know, remember he said that he's immune from war crimes. So
Right.
he's going to see how far he could go. That's why he's doing all this stuff with the war.
He's not immune from war crimes with the world international law. He may be immune in the United States, but internationally he's not immune.
Well, that's the thing. He feels that he is that way, and see, that's the problem. See, he got the immunity part bad. Wrong. You get what I'm saying? He's thinking that means even if he attacked other countries, I'm good. But it's not. You still can get in trouble with the international laws.
I also heard that the Republicans told him don't try to attack Cuba, and Hakeem Jeffries said yesterday or today, I can't remember which day it was, and I couldn't actually find the clip, but I remember looking at it. He said that we're going to reform the courts. When Democrats start running, they're gonna run to reform these courts because the Supreme Court is out of control, and they're going to try to add 4 justices to the court, and they have to because this Supreme Court is out of control. They're just blatantly corrupt. They're just going along with these Republicans because they're MAGA. Trump put them in office. He put at least 3 of them in office. And Leto and Clarence Thomas have always been racist, and they just, you know, whatever. If you say up, they're gonna say down. If you say red, they're gonna say blue. You know, they've always been dissenters, and so at the end of the day, the Supreme Court is out of control, in my opinion. They're not following the law. They're not following their own precedents. And like I said, they're making this shit up on the fly. They're making it up as they go.
Now that's true. They are. They are making it up as they go, and you are absolutely right. And when they gave him immunity, Trump thought that immunity means for everything he does, and it's not that way. Like you said, international laws, he don't have immunity for that, but he think he does, and he's done got us where we are a third world country. We are not, we're not the powerhouse we used to be. We are. Who's saying good morning, dear? Okay. Just Lovely. Okay, good morning.
Well, hey, Just Lovely. She's in Africa, so it's morning for her.
Oh, okay. Good morning.
Yeah. Hey, Just Lydia. Thank you for joining us.
But yeah, they, the international laws. He keeps forgetting about the international laws, and he thinks he's above he really thinks he's above all the laws, and he's not.
Well, I tell you what. Him and BB are gonna be on the run when he leave office. You watch and see him and BB gonna be on the run. Watch and see, because the international community, they're coming after them.
Oh yeah, they're coming after them.
They already got a warrant for BB Netanyahu.
Yeah.
And Trump is next.
As they say, for show.
Yeah, and they've already, Congress don't warn him, don't go to Cuba. Because, they trying to do midterms, they trying to win, and it ain't going to look good for them to be trying to attack Cuba after you done already attacked Venezuela, and you got us into this Iran war with the Strait of Hormuz. And
right.
So you're doing too much, sir. You need to go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, he's just doing too much, and that's the sad part. He's doing too much, and to me, Trump he's teasing the government to see how far he can go. Because if you notice that every time you turn around, well, I could bomb them and take them off the map of the earth. He's just saying anything just to see how far he can go and see how far.
But he's always operated that way, Foxy. He's always tried to push the levers. He's always tried to push it to the edge to see how far he can go. That's what his whole life is all about. He take gambles. He done lost a lot. He done filed bankruptcy over 6 or 7 times. He got over 4,000 court cases. When people was working for him and building buildings, he wouldn't pay them. He's just a fraud and a con man, straight up.
Right.
And unfortunately, he have to be our damn president because people didn't do their history. They didn't do their research. They didn't look into what he was all about. And now everybody getting the F around and finding out about what type of person he really is. And a lot of people are regretting their votes when it comes
right.
to
And
him.
look, as our brother Menu would say, do your fucking research.
That part. That part. But his followers
didn't do theirs.
No, they didn't do their research, and now they're getting getting the F around and find out.
Don't you know better? Do your fucking research.
Wait, you had it?
Yeah, we got it.
All right, girl.
I'm the super producer tonight.
All right, now, producer.
Since our producer took the night off, I'm the producer tonight.
All right, girl.
But at the end of the day, this dude is a con man, and now MAGA get to see how much you really care about them and how many problems he really can cause the American public as well as the world. Because not only is he causing havoc for us, he's causing havoc for the global market and the global world as well with this Iran war and with these decisions that he's making. And all the economies
like you
are
said,
going.
like we said before, the Strait of Hormuz was open to everybody. Now everybody got to pay.
Yeah, everybody got to pay the price for him.
Right.
Because of his dumb decisions and stupid mistakes. Basically, is what's going on.
Prior to the Voting Rights Act. So Memphis, as a city, has been a district even before they were trying to rectify racial discrimination with the Voting Rights Act. So, we're going to start to see maybe Virginia might try again and create that. Maybe they might try to create a an 11-0 map, because now, according to the Supreme Court, you can. We might live in a country where all around the country, we have states where the minority political party has effectively zero representation in Congress.
I think everybody should take confidence in the fact the Supreme Court basically supported one vote, one person, guaranteed in perpetuity, and the rest is just map wars. And I think we should get used to it. And I think it's, as you said, a state-based situation.
Map wars.
Add this to the mix. At the end of the day, the state decides at the state level. It's in the Constitution. Get over it.
So look at Bakari. Bakari mad as hell. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Do you see how Bakari is looking at him? If looks could take you out, Kevin Leary will be gone. And what Kevin got this hat on for? You trying to hide your face, Kevin?
No, he's trying to advertise for Utah.
Oh, is that one of his companies?
What it is in Utah, there's security there. I think he's trying to do for security for Utah. What's going on in Utah? I said I was going to do some research and find out why he ran that.
He looks stupid in that hat. He looks stupid in that hat and a suit that don't match. So, you should put something else on if you're going to throw that baseball cap on. Maybe take your jacket off, and that tie.
Right. It got something to do with his security, something to do with the national security in Utah.
Well, I can't see all of it. All I see is Utah and security. I don't see what's on the other side of it. Maybe he'll face us so we can see what the hat says.
And it says national security, I think. Utah.
Utah national security.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. You're 71.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, no, he didn't throw his age up there.
During your
he ain't through yet.
We've actually had Brown v. Board of Education.
I remember.
Yeah, Brown v. Board of Education. I don't know how you remember it. I think you were like 2 months old. But I'm not finished yet. Let me finish my thought.
Drill back to 54.
Yeah, because you're still alive, right? And so there's an entire generation of people. Brown v. Board, it overturned Plessy v. Ferguson of 1896. My point is that my mother was born in 1951. She desegregated schools. My father was shot in the civil rights movement. Those people. I'm going to finish because you're being utterly disrespectful.
Not at all.
So I'm going to finish this comment. So what I'm telling you is that there are people in this country who fought, died, and bled for the right to vote. Don't be a dick. Just understand.
Bakari,
just understand.
I'm pointing something out to you. The Constitution's being upheld.
I told you it was some more.
Just understand.
Bakari, I'm gonna stop you because I just want everybody to reset with a modicum of respect at this table. Please stop.
I want you to understand that there is a
Mr.
price.
to you,
There's a price that was paid for this right. There is a price that we uphold, and whether or not you value that, whether or not you value that or not. There are people who bled, sweat, and died and were imprisoned for access to the ballot box. And what we're seeing throughout the South is that their vote, their representation, and people who have lived experiences to represent them are not being sent to Congress or where they need to go.
This debate, by the way, is happening among the justices. If you look at the Louisiana decision, the conservatives are saying, we've made great progress. It's time to let go of using racial discrimination.
And that's why I utilize the description of
and the liberal justices say exactly what you just said, Bakari, which is there's a history here that we're overlooking.
But Ellie, I mean, the 3 years have passed since 2026.
Exactly.
So
it's not that long.
All of a sudden, the country has made
that much progress
in 3 years.
That's the criticism of the majority. Look, there's a famous quote by Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? When the Voting Rights Act came.
Who should have retired?
When the Voting Rights Act came up, when she was on the bench, she said, the conservatives said, well, we've made great progress, so we don't need this anymore. She said, I'm paraphrasing, but she said, that's like getting rid of your umbrella in a rainstorm because you're not getting wet.
Yes.
And the question is it still raining?
So is Ellie trying to turn into the new Scott? They call him Scott now, so Ellie gonna get up. He's gonna get up there and try to defend all of this BS that the Supreme Court is just causing havoc towards the Black community as well as the Republican South.
No, I think what's his name? The other one with the hat on. He's the one that took Scott's place because he was getting
Kevin Leary.
Yeah,
he was to be on The Apprentice with Trump.
Yeah, he used to be on The Apprentice. Also, he was on he was the same as he said, a dick on the Shark Tank. He was nasty on the Shark Tank. They had to calm him down on the Shark Tank too because he was so nasty.
Right.
He was
But,
real
you know,
nasty.
I'm just tired of all of this whitewashing. Oh, you still can vote. Well, yeah, we can vote, but it don't count. And like Bakari said, we can't send nobody to Congress because they done diluted the vote. So miss us with all of this, you still can vote. And to me, all of this is just dog whistle mess that they're trying to spew out to try to get you to buy this BS that they're trying to push, and it's not gonna work.
Well, all he did, okay, remember Trump said he want to make America great. Let's go back to the 1776. Well, you know, when it came down for us to vote, it was during the Jim Crow era, right? But
1776, we weren't even voting at that point. So that's
you know, he was trying to go back, you know, as far as history, he's trying to say he want to take everything back to then. That's when America was great. But this with the election and the voting, they're trying to take us back to the Jim Crow era.
Well, I beg to differ. America wasn't great back then. It ain't great now, and I don't know a time when it was great. Even if you just want to look at even not even considering racism, just think about the technology that they did not have. So America wasn't great back then either, and it ain't great right now, even with all of our technology and all of the, you know, with all of the laws that we've bypassed and all of the humps and hurdles that we've overcome. And like you said, you're just rolling us back to Jim Crow at this point.
Right, and they were doing protests, I think, the Mother's Day weekend. I think it was Friday or Saturday in one of them southern states. I think it was.
Well, they need to protest because they're the reason why we in this mess.
And they were protesting, and they said you're taking us back to the Jim Crow era. You saw a whole lot of signs saying we're not going back to the Jim Crow era, and that's where they're taking us back. And I was, you know, when it's time for me to vote, I was voting during some of that Jim Crow era. And I remember the first time I went to vote, you know, we didn't have the machines, we had the paper. And they looked at my paper and ripped it up in front of my face and dared me to say anything and threw it in the trash because I didn't vote the way they wanted me to vote. So, you know, voting for us now is a little different because you can go into the machine, hit the lever, do whatever, and walk out the door. Then they used to take the piece of paper, look at it, and you didn't vote the way they wanted you to vote, they would rip it up. I know because it happened to me several times. I had stopped voting in the South until I moved back to the North. When I moved back to the North, that's when I started voting again.
And hell, that was just yesterday. Yesterday. So don't act like he's trying to act like voting been prevalent for a long time, and we've been having all these voting rights, and it's all good. And even with them redistricting, we still our voices are still counting, and that's a bunch of BS because our votes are not being counted if you're gonna lump us in with everyone else.
Well, you know, when they had the hurricane and the floods in what it was, Tennessee, Kentucky, and North Carolina in the mountain, and Elon Musk gave them, you know, because they were out in the rural area, he let them have satellites to do their voting, you know, during the election. Once the election was over with, he took all that, you know, he cut all that equipment off, every last one of them off.
Well, at the end of the day, it don't matter what they do with the vote because Trump is so underwater with a 30% approval rating. I don't care how many districts they get, they still not gonna win, in my opinion.
They're not
because
gonna win.
The people are not on board with his policies. The people are not on board with this BS. They definitely not on board with this war and all this flip-flopping, all of this. You don't know what you're talking about, and all of these prices and the way people can't buy a home, they can't buy a car. Everybody's way of living has changed drastically.
Where my son lived at on the outskirts of Charlotte, North Carolina, they had a housing development there, right? My daughter-in-law told me today that they got 6 houses that's sitting there now unfinished because they came in with ice and raided the area. So now they have nobody to finish the houses, and the houses is just sitting there half done. So they never finished the project of that housing development because of what they did with ICE.
But that's happening all over the United States. It's happening here too. It's all on our news as well. And it's happening all over the United States because, you know, you wanted to deport everybody. So now all your workers are gone. And now your builders ain't making money because they can't get these houses built because they don't know how to build them.
And then you don't end up with the tariffs. So now the tariffs is so high that the certain supplies that they were getting to finish the houses, they can't afford because you got rid of the workers.
And even if they didn't, you know, at the end of the day, people can't afford to build no house anyway.
And then you got it. Wait a minute. Then you got it. The government that was giving them grants to build these houses. Now they don't have the money to get the houses built.
Oh, but he's a great businessman. Let them finish up on CNN.
Okay.
Is it drizzling? Is it clear? People differ strongly on that.
And guess what? It can be clear one day and rain the next. And so that's the inconsistency.
And the crazy part is, go ahead.
I just want to point out the one person, one vote. I think, Bakari, us millennials will have to wrestle with how we're going to leave this earth. And I'm determined to leave it better than I found it. And I think that this decision is actually going to open a rush to reevaluate a lot of things that you say are in the Constitution, because right now you have a hat on that says Utah, and they have more representation in the Senate than the people actually in Alabama have.
I
in
got
the
a
Senate.
situation in Utah going on.
I know that's not why you have the hat on.
No, I have
but
it on.
You have it on, and so there are states right
I'm
now that have
supporting
two
the people of
senators.
Utah.
When we're sitting in a state right now that has more population than Utah multiplied by 10, and so if we
You
really
don't like
want to
Utah?
talk about,
I love Utah.
I'm talking about all the states that have smaller populations. If we really want to talk about one
You love
person,
Utah
one-
because you're making
and
money
if we
out
really
of
want to
Utah.
go down a path to see what real franchise mean, you might have just opened a discussion that this country should be it's timely to actually have.
Let's leave it there. Ellie Honig, thank you very much for joining us. Next for us, breaking news tonight in the war in Iran, we're learning that the president has more seriously considered a return to combat in Iran after frustrating development. Plus, Trump.
Okay, so that just wraps that up for us as far as Abby Phillips go, because we don't want to get into the war again. We've already talked about that. So let me bring that down. And let's see, where is that at? I'm removing them too as we go so that I'll have them on here. But y'all remember Chud the Builder, right? Y'all know we talked about Chud the Builder last time we had a show. And Chud the Builder has really gotten himself into some big time trouble. He still was antagonizing people. So he went to this restaurant and he got arrested at this restaurant for antagonizing patrons, right? Then he turned around and he gets into an altercation with some people, some black people on the streets. And guess what happened? Somebody shot at him. Well, they didn't shoot at him. Actually, he shot himself in the foot trying to shoot at somebody else. So he shot himself in the foot and he shot at somebody else, but he
I was trying not to laugh. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, you know, that's what happens, you know, when you F around and find out. And he better be glad that he just got shot in the foot. Okay? Well, I'm just saying, because it could have went way worse. it could have went way worse than what it did go. Okay.
Well, didn't we just last week talk about him? And he better watch out.
Yeah.
And he did it to himself.
Even Ray Charles could have seen this happening.
I saw this coming. Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder saw this
Yeah,
coming.
baby, everybody seen this happening though. But let's get into it.
So it's been a while since we've covered Chud the Builder, aka the viral racist streamer, the guy who goes around calling people the N-words, trying to start fights with them and whatnot to claim it's free speech so then he can pull mace out or he can pull a gun out and claim that they're chimping out on him, right?
It's riling you up, getting you to chimp out because we want you in jail.
Unfortunately, the day has finally come where Chud has had to use his firearm, leading to him accidentally shooting himself as well as another person. Now, there are a few sources covering this situation right about now. This coming from Clown World saying that Chud the Builder was sucker punched outside the Montgomery County courthouse in Tennessee today. He fired in self-defense, accidentally grazing his arm. He is now in custody. The attacker is being flown by helicopter to a hospital. You can see here's Chud sitting here, and we have like an audio recording, I guess, that he told the police.
I walked up to him because they were pointing at me. They were laughing. They were pointing at me, and I said, "What's up, guys? How y'all doing?" I said, "Y'all like the new suit?" He said, "Walk away from me." I walked away from him. Back to me. He literally said, "I have PTSD. I feel like I'm in." He said, "You start saying all that chimp out shit to me, I'm gonna hit you." He hit me, started wailing on me, even after I had to defend myself by shooting him. He's still wailing on me.
Where's your weapon at?
They have everything.
What weapon is that right there? I believe that's. Is that yours?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's talking right now. Oh no, you guys are good. Do your thing. Okay.
Do y'all feel sorry for Chud?
Not what? Wait a minute. What was that man that sung that song? Hell to the no, to the no.
No. What was his name? Old Buckeye or somebody like that? I forgot his name. Was it Bull Wheeler?
Bullwinkle.
Bishop Bullwinkle. Yeah, Bishop Bullwinkle.
Hell to the no.
But he should have saw that coming. You can't go around antagonizing people because we already knew it was just only a matter of time before he ran into the wrong person. Yeah, I'm tired of it too, Santa. And hey, Santa, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey, Santa.
Happy Wednesday. But yeah, Chud the Builder, he went around antagonizing people, and I just knew it was all in a matter of time. I told him to go to the hood and see if he could try that. But baby, it don't even look like he had to go to the hood for that. And even this Caucasian man that he was arguing with last week almost got on him, was getting ready to lay some hands on him. And so, people are upset right now. They mad about the economy. They mad about their job. They mad about their life. And so everybody on the edge, you don't need to be going around messing with nobody, in my opinion. It ain't safe.
And you're talking about, calling them monkeys, N-word, and all kinds of stuff. After a while, people, they ain't gonna take. I keep telling them this is the Malcolm X era. This is not Martin Luther King era where we was marching and kumbaya. This is the Malcolm X era, and it means necessary. These young folks don't care. They don't mind going back and getting 3 meals in a car. And he already told you he had PTSD, so he gave you fair warning ahead of time before you came out of your mouth wrong. And you took a chance, and his PTSD set in.
Yeah, he can if around and finding out. But he did it to himself, though. That's the funny part. He did it to himself.
They say he shot the other guy.
And he shot himself in the foot.
Yeah, because you sat back and kept talking about, what was the last video he was talking about? The Wild Wild West, pow, 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 joking with him. Okay, well, you did the pow, 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 and you found out what the pow, pow, pow. Somebody got something a little stronger than you.
Well, do you think this gonna stop him? Or do you think he's gonna continue with this?
It's gonna calm him down. It's gonna calm him down because now he's finding out that next time it might not be his foot.
Yeah.
See, as long as he was going around and saying it and nobody put their hands on him, he was good. But now
as long as he could go around and bully people.
Right, but now he saw that he bullied the wrong person. That person didn't mind getting shot. He said, I shot him, and he still mollywopped his ass. Okay.
That part.
He said, I shot him, and he still was wailing on me. I said, yeah, I said, shoot. if you grazed him and all you did was graze him, yeah. Oh, now you done pissed him off beyond pissing
Well,
me.
he should do a little history about 50 cents. Well, ain't 50 cents the one that got shot like got 9 bullet holes and he still made it and thriving today? He better go ask somebody about us, baby.
Yeah, black people, we bounce back.
Okay, not all the time, but some of the time we do.
Look, I got a nephew that got shot 7 times,
And
he's
still here.
and still here and working. Look, working, got kids and everything. Got family.
Well,
and
50
everything.
cents, 50 cents working and got a child. So but the bottom line is leave people alone, and you won't be in this predicament, Chad.
Now,
He has a graze. I
that's
call
this
it graze
guy
to
that
the
comes
left
on
left arm.
YouTube.
He has slight abrasion
Hold
right
on.
here on his head.
Okay.
Go ahead.
There's this guy on YouTube. I can't think of his name now, and he comes up on YouTube and TikTok, and he comes up on Facebook, and he said, "Leave black folks alone." And then he showed how these white folks go up on black people and f around and find out.
Exactly.
So he should have looked at this guy and learned a few things. And I said, I warned him. I said last week we warned him. Ain't everybody gonna be what you think they're gonna be. You ain't gonna keep walking up on them and think that this one is gonna be okay. There was one last week. Remember, the guys kept telling him that he ain't worth it. He ain't worth it. He wanted to get him then.
Oh well.
Maybe
Well, we
some
found
straight,
out.
lightheaded.
We knew this day was going to come. The day was going to come where people are, of course, going to attack Chud. As much as I disavow those actions and whatnot, I think we play a dangerous game every single time you go out onto the streets, with this rhetoric of like, hey guys, you guys support free speech, right? Well, here's the N-word. You're an N-word. You're an N-word. You're chimping out. You're chimping out. This is the kind of thing that's going to happen, unfortunately. Someone attacked this guy, and from Chud the Builder's point of view, what happened was the guy already knew who he was, and it caused him to sucker punch him, and
It
that's where
don't
Chud
matter.
pulled his Glock out. I guess we'll have to find out more if, like most cases, Chud kind of started it by telling the guy who was chimping out first and whatnot. But at least in this case, thankfully, Chud the Builder hasn't lost his life. Seems like the other person who was shot also didn't lose their life. Still, this situation getting crazy. The Chud the Builder situation is taking a huge turn. Now, of course, I don't know much about the laws, but someone who does is Jay Oma, who is an attorney, very popular defense lawyer. Here he is with Gideon, where he's talking about the whole Chud the Builder shooting situation, claiming that he may not have a self-defense claim. And obviously in a situation like this, yeah, it's going to be quite difficult to claim self-defense when you're the one with the gun shooting someone who may not have had a gun, while also inciting the violence, while having this controversial history.
Exactly.
Again, not defending Chud the Builder being harmed, just saying this is the kind of stuff that goes down when we're getting into legal territories. Now firearms, now people possibly losing their lives or getting shot.
And he's trying to claim self-defense?
Trying to claim self-defense.
Okay. It's hard. It's hard for him to claim self-defense. I have cases like that. It's hard to claim self-defense because the other guy didn't show a weapon. He didn't recognize a weapon. And it's gonna be hard to try to prove it to a jury that, I felt like my life was in danger. You know what I mean? So the only way I can think that he can get out of that is if he can show the jury that at that specific time, at that specific point, he felt that his life was in danger from a deadly weapon from the other guy. And if he felt that, then he can try to tell the jury that I, Chud the Builder, felt like my life was in danger. And because so, I had to pull my gun out and defend myself. But it's gonna be a hard battle to win it.
And for those who haven't been keeping up with Chud, while I was sick over the past week, he actually got arrested a few days ago because he basically dined and dashed. At least that's what this restaurant tried to accuse him of. This restaurant knew who he was. They knew why he was controversial. Basically, they asked him to leave the store or leave the restaurant. And when he did leave, they called the police on him because he didn't pay his bill and whatnot, right?
You seem kind of upset.
No, you guys filming now?
Yeah. We can leave. Hey, calm down. Why don't you go shit in the street?
This is the same clip that I was talking about when he got thrown out that restaurant.
He told him, why don't he go F in the street? Okay, he's Hispanic. Look like he's Hispanic or, not of American descent.
Yeah.
So, right there. And then also Chuck the Builder don't realize now, because of what he did, he can also be charged with hate crime.
Yeah. Calling people the N word is a hate crime, and antagonizing people.
Right.
He's definitely not going to win this case. And that person that pow-powed him, they probably going, they probably not going to be in trouble either.
No, they're not, because
he started it.
And he warned them that he was suffering from PTSD. Well, if he has a disability with PTSD, he's really going to get kind of a slap on the wrist, because he has an ailment already. So he went up against somebody that already have an illness with a hate crime, which is going to hurt him badly by law. Because if he identified that he had a health condition and you still antagonize him with a hate crime, he's gonna get off, because so
ain't nothing gonna happen to him at all.
Nope, not at all. Well, really, look at that. Remember in Alabama,
he can claim insanity.
Right. Remember that's the thing is he is considered insane.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying. He got a whole psychological problem, and them the people that you don't want to mess with, Chud. And like I said, everybody on edge right now. And I just want to say, we got this clip from Metcalf on Twitter, on X. So y'all can go follow him if y'all want to follow up on the story. But like I said, everybody on the edge right now, and especially somebody warning you that they got PTSD, then I would advise you, leave that person alone. You ought to have enough common sense to walk away from that.
But he didn't have. See, he's been so happy with it and been doing so well and making money off of it and getting away with it for so long.
But he's not even making money no more. All the social media sites kicked him off and demonetized him.
Right.
So now you're just doing it just to be doing it at this point.
Right.
Unless he's receiving like PayPal and Cash Apps, he's getting monetary, because you can get monetary different ways on social media. So it don't have to necessarily be through the social media site. You could send a Cash App or PayPal or Venmo or something like that. So maybe he's getting his money that way.
Because that's how Jed did. He's a grifter, and he get most of his.
Let's not talk about him, Chad.
But I was just saying, like him and Dr. Umar, and Dr. Umar, both of them, I was going to say both of them are making money that way. They're not.
It's other ways to get money from social media, and that may be one of the reasons why he's still doing what he's doing.
Right, because he's getting money.
Why don't you go poop in the street? Hey man, don't get aggressive with me. We'll get up and leave. Thanks for the free food. Hey, Bob's Steakhouse. Take care. Oh no, we're not paying shit. Y'all are kicking me out, or are we staying?
No, you're paying.
Oh, you think?
For what you got, yeah.
Buddy, I didn't get to enjoy my meal. You're kicking me out. I'm not paying for shit. Yeah. Bob's Steakhouse. Check your Google reviews, little midget guy.
You're not welcome back, okay?
We open the toilets already.
You're not welcome back.
Watch your mouth. This is America. You're in my country. You hear me? I can't believe that midget thought I was going to pay for the meal after they kicked me out.
There's a whole mugshot about that. He ended up getting off from that. That might have been what he was settling in the courtroom and whatnot. Regardless, that thing was just kind of like a silly situation because, yes, this guy is controversial, but I can kind of understand like the whole idea. Well, if I'm getting kicked out of the restaurant, I'm not going to pay. But to some point, you still can be like, hey, I'll pay, and then I'll just go argue with my bank about it. Like I'll go dispute it with my bank and say, hey, they kicked me out. I didn't get to finish my meal, so I don't want to pay. That's something you deal with the bank, I think, instead of having to have the police come and handle it that way. Because again, this guy already does have like quite a litany.
He finished his meal. The damn plate was clean, so that's not true. And they served him even though they kicked him out, and they only kicked him out because he was being obnoxious. And so he got himself kicked out. It's not like they just asked him to go because he was just sitting there being nice. So he got himself kicked out, in my opinion.
He did. And, just like he told him, go S in the street. Okay. Go shit in the street. Okay. So you basically, then you call him a midget and all this, just, he think he's above being approach that he's above everything and nobody's going to touch him because he can get away with saying it because the First Amendment right. There's a degree of that. You as I want to call him, moron. There's a degree to that. You have the freedom, you have the right to speak your mind, but it's how far you go with it is the point.
Right. You're absolutely right. We got freedom of speech, but there's also a cost with all of that. Like you said, you got to face the consequences of your freedom of speech.
And it does not give you the right, because you have freedom of speech, to go out here and do a hate crime by saying it.
Quite a long list of controversies surrounding him. We've all unfortunately had to see all of these happening. Also, according to Chud, someone killed his dog. Very sad. I love animals myself. Again, as much as I think this guy's controversial, I would say douchebag territory. I don't think that his family should be harmed, that his wife, his children, and of course his animal. Chud the Builder speaks out after his arrest. Someone killed my dog. The government is more interested in me than the people trying to kill me, right?
Federal agents outside my house in a U-Haul. Someone killed my dog, guys.
Oh, well.
I don't believe that either.
He probably
who's helping me, bro?
Nobody.
The government, they're interested in me more than they are people who are trying to kill me.
Well, you caused that to yourself.
Say a word than it is to threaten to kill people, I guess. I get so many death threats. He's like, just report them all.
So obviously, again, people who have found where this guy lives, found the people that are in his home, in this case, his pet, and ended the life of his pet.
That was a
warning. I don't support that. I
Yeah.
think that's disgusting. I think it's evil, right? I think that you can hate someone and think someone deserves to get knocked out or punched in the mouth for saying like some crazy racist stuff, right? Like you can think that all day, whatever. I think that going to the point of like killing someone's pets or even trying to kill them over words is just insanity. I'm always going to kind of stand by that. You know, that's something I've pointed out when the whole Charlie Kirk stuff happened, right? As much of a controversial figure he is and the things that he said, and you may not agree or you may agree, I don't think
I bet if Chud the Builder came and said some degrading things to him, you think he'd be talking like this?
Nope.
Okay. It's always easy to be on the outside looking in when it ain't happening to you.
But see, also, he keeps saying the freedom of speech, but it states here, freedom of speech is not absolute and can be limited or restricted in cases involving clear or present danger, defamation, obscenity, fighting words, true threats, inciting lawful actions like, a mob or people, attacking and inciting a mob, or using slander.
Yeah, January 6th.
Right, or using slander, so, he doesn't understand. People get that, that I can say what I want to say because of freedom of speech, but it's a limit to it. And, that's, he took it too far and now he effed around and found out.
Well, at the end of the day, he got common sense and he know good and well that everybody is not going to put up with this BS. He was doing it just to, get attention.
Right now he got all the attention he want.
He got more than he want. He got more attention. He just said that the FBI was outside his house and somebody done came by and took his dog out, and then they want him gone.
Now he's getting all these death threats on the phone. But you said, freedom of speech.
But you asked for all of this.
Wait a minute. He said these death threats, but wait a minute. Ain't that freedom of speech as you were saying, freedom of speech?
Well, I feel like you asked for all of this attention. You wanted the attention. You wanted to be famous. So here's the cost of being famous. That's basically what it is, in my opinion.
Look, as my grandbaby would say, voila.
Everyone should lose their life for saying some controversial words, when in actuality, if you look at their content from a different lens, you can kind of understand why they have fans, why they have haters, and you may not like what they do. You may not think they deserve a platform, right? When this dude got banned off of Kick, I was like, whatever, F up, screw it, bozo, RIP, right? But again, at the same day or at the same time, I don't think that Chud the Builder should like lose his life. I don't think his family should lose their lives or his pets should lose their lives. But I do want to know what you guys think down below. This situation, I feel like, is just going to keep getting worse. Chud the Builder is not someone like Kanye or someone like Clavicular, right? Like some of these controversial content creators who can kind of keep latching on to other things. Chud the Builder's famous for saying the N-word and telling people they chimp out. And eventually it's going to get to the point where he's either going to end someone's life and some side of the internet's going to think he's a hero, and then the other side's going to think he's like the worst evil monster alive, or he's going to lose his life. And I don't want to see either of those results, truly. I think this guy needs to just get off the internet. And that's just my thoughts. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I feel the same way, sir. Chud the Builder definitely needs to get off the internet. He definitely needs to stop antagonizing people, and he needs to leave people alone and go get him a real job is what I feel like he should do.
Yeah, he really needs to stop that because he's gonna either get someone killed or himself.
Mhm.
And
Exactly.
like he said, and or his family harm. Because you got children, and if your children go into the neighborhood or anywhere near there are people that's not of their race, and they are they're little, as you got down there, the trigger warning, and they triggered by your daddy this, and you know how kids can be very
Yeah.
mean to other kids.
And other family members. You know,
Mhm.
when you associate it, if people associate his family to him, some people do know who he is. And you are on the internet, and the internet is worldwide, and you got all type of internet detectives, just like they found his house
Right.
and unalived his dog.
That
Baby,
was
they
a
can find out-
warning.
yeah, that was a warning, and they can find out who the rest of your family members are too. So not only are you putting a target on your back, but you're putting a target on your family's back also. And I don't think he's really realized that. I
No.
just think he he could just go out and be blatantly racist, and everybody was just gonna take it, or just to see how far he can push people, and
Mhm.
or really doing it as to me, it looked like he's doing it as a joke, and not a bad joke at that, and just to see what the reaction of everybody is going to be when he say what he say.
Well,
Do what he
at
do.
one time they was going around. They had, they call them TikTok challenges, and they had quite a bit of bad ones out there because there was some TikTok challenges. See how far you could go by saying the N word to certain people, and some of these young people got beat up real bad behind it. So
Right.
they had to take that off of TikTok. So to me,
TikTok
while
needs
he
to
was
stop letting them do those challenges anyway, because there's so many kids been hurt, unalived, and doing all this
man,
stupid stuff because TikTok allowing all this crazy mess
well, here
to
in
go on.
in DC, North Carolina, Virginia, New York. I don't know about Illinois, but I know at one time on the eastern part of North Carolina, I think Florida got hit too. That they had the TikTok challenge where they were going out here stealing the Kia and the what was the Kia car and
Yeah, here in Texas also.
and they showed them how they can do it with the phones,
Exactly.
and they were stealing cars left and right to a point here. I mean, to a point in not here, but to a point that in DC, they in the DC metropolitan area, they said the insurance went up so high that people couldn't even hardly afford insurance anymore because
I'm pretty sure that was probably all across the states.
because of all it, because the insurance was, people would go to Virginia and get it pretty cheap. They can go to Maryland and get it pretty cheap. DC was high, but it wasn't that high. But when they started stealing cars and these insurance companies had to pay out for all these cars being stolen and damaged and wrecked to a point that, the people insurance went up high. And so, they were stealing cars real bad. So I told my brother, he lived in Charlotte, I said, trade your Kia in, get the push button. And at the time I had a Volkswagen CC. And everybody said, ain't you worried about your car getting stolen? Where at the time, the Volkswagen CC, your key was your key fob. You push the key fob in the slot and push it in to start the car. So it's no way they could use the USB cord because they would have to, what they would do is take the screwdriver, put it in the ignition thing, hook the USB cord to the USB charging port.
Well, let's not tell everybody how to do it.
Well, at that's what they said. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. Let's not give out that advice.
Right. But anyway, that's why they said it happened. I don't know because I never tried it, didn't care.
Right.
And they had, then because they were doing it so much, they were calling the young people had even gave the nickname free ride. So like you Uber ride or the the car rides, the taxi, Uber, Lyft. They were saying free ride, and everybody saying free ride. They say, yeah, they go out and steal those Kias or I can't think of the other car, but it's 2 cars that they could steal easy. At one time, it used to be the Honda. Remember the Honda used to be the car that everybody used to steal, and everybody used to get scared to buy the Honda. So they changed that. Then Germany found out. Germany changed up on their cars were getting stolen a lot in Germany. So that's how they came up with the Volkswagen CC with the push button and the key fob. So that's why my car never got stolen. I told them, I ain't got to worry about it. They ain't going to steal mine. Because if you don't have the key fob, you ain't going nowhere. And the only key in the key fob is to unlock the driver's door. That's it. So
let's get into Nick Fuentes, because the night just won't be the night without bringing old crazy Nick into the mix.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, Nick want to do. He want to give us. He's ranting and raving about him, his voting record, and he's talking to this dude is kind of interviewing him, and let's bring him to the stage so I can.
In 2020.
But he's talking about his voting, how he voted, how he didn't vote for the Democrats, but he didn't vote for the Republicans also. And so he want to rant and rave a little bit about that. And then our last clip, we'll bring up Marjorie Taylor Greene, because Marjorie Taylor Greene done flew the country, child. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about old crazy Nick first, and then we'll wrap the show up with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Okay.
Before I didn't vote Republican. I recused myself. I just told people not to vote. Everybody thinks I voted for Kamala, but I didn't. I just told people to withhold their vote. But in 2026, what really did it for me was the war in Iran. I think that, for me, that was the red line. We were promised no new wars. We got a war in Iran. And I really believe that if you vote for Republicans after that, it's almost like you'll tolerate anything, because that's such an explicit betrayal and on a very serious matter. And then what's more, to maybe get into the positive reason for voting Democrat as opposed to withholding your vote or not voting Republican, is I think that when you look at the House of Representatives in particular, and I say this on my show, they exercise oversight powers under the Constitution. And so they can depose, they can compel the release of documents, they can subpoena, form subcommittees. And I really believe that they, set against the Republicans, will actually work to slow down the administration. And it's not just that the administration is not doing things, they're doing things that are bad. They did try to bury the Epstein files. And if it wasn't for the Democrats and a handful of Republicans, they would have never seen the light of day. And then you have the War Powers Resolution in the Senate, which got shut down basically along party lines, with one exception, which was John Fetterman. And so, and then you have a group of Democrats, this is just last week, they put out a letter to the White House asking to disclose Israel's nuclear program. So I would like to see actually Democrats.
Can you repeat that last part just for people who maybe missed it? There was a lot of rapid fire, disclosing the nuclear program.
Yeah, there was a group of 20 House Democrats. They signed a letter to the White House basically asking the White House to acknowledge that Israel has a nuclear arsenal, because they believe, and I think it's correct, that the lack of disclosure about that creates a risk of miscalculation or escalation. We don't know where Israel's red line is when they would use a nuke. So these are just like a few examples where I think that it's actually a good thing for Democrats to have a divided government with Republicans and slow down and challenge some of the things that are going on, because I think they're not good. And then, if you will, do you want to stop there and then get on to the other part, or do you want me to finish the whole thing?
I think so. So let's take all of that, let's take it in totality. First off, I still don't think it's anywhere comparable to the actual progress, the wins that have been made under the Trump administration. Like, I wouldn't say and also, I don't think that these are things that.
Now, don't be fooled by Nick. Nick just complaining about his soapbox because he didn't get what he voted for. Okay, he said he didn't vote Republican, but I think he did because he was campaigning for Trump. Remember, he went over there to Mar-a-Lago to have dinner with Trump, and so he helped get Trump elected. And now he's mad, and I think he's kind of allegedly flip-flopping at this point because whatever he voted for, he didn't get it. And so now he's been on this rampage, talking about Trump, talking about the policies, and he's all upset because of the policies that Trump implemented, which I just feel like Trump just kind of made, a-hole out of everybody, a ass out of everybody, and played everybody. And so Nick is mad about it.
Yeah, because him, what's the other chick, the blonde chick that's on, you know who I'm talking about.
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Not Marjorie, the other chick that's on the TV. I mean, on, what's her name? You got her on as to talk about her too.
Megyn Kelly?
Yeah, Megyn Kelly. She's fussing back now. Marjorie fussing. You know, a lot of them that were supportive of him are now.
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Quite a hero. I love him. All the MAGA pundits are turning on Trump now because he's not being America first. And we saw, the heading on this clip saying America first.
Well, you know what? After the night, we're going to have to come back live tomorrow because we got to find out what the Democrats doing because I'm just seeing that Democrats invoked the 25th Amendment on Trump's China trip.
Well, I told you a while ago that they was trying to come up with a plan to vote, to invoke the 25th Amendment.
Well,
and the Democrats and the Republicans are not fooling me. They all went into a back room, came up with an excuse, and so now here we go. But let's see if that's going to go through.
Right. So that's why I said we might have to go live again if it does go through. Or they,
we're gonna have to wait a couple of days because, baby, you know how Congress is. They flip flop back all the time, and so we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait it out and see what the outcome of this is gonna be. But yeah, so Nick really just on his soapbox, and he's just a little salty about how things are going, and so now he's trying to get all his followers to vote Democrats in. Now, keep in mind, last week. The way that he was talking, Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
What Nick Fuentes want to do, he want to teach the Republicans a lesson, and he want to regroup. He want to get all the Republicans that's in office right now. This is his plan. This is really what his plan is. His plan is remove all Republicans, remove everybody that's not American first, and just let the Democrats run it for a couple of years. Everybody know that the Democrats know how to get the economy back on track because that's what the Democrats do, And so he want the Democrats to put all the order back in, get everything all lined up and put it all back in order. And then in 28, they're gonna bring out their candidate that they want to win. For the presidency in 28. So that's basically what Nick's big plan is, in my opinion.
Well, if you notice, okay, when Bush Jr. left, everybody was for Obama. Now remember, they came up with everything, but Obama won really high on his election. For president, and the second term too. So he got 2 terms in on his.
Well, I feel like I don't even feel like that they're gonna win the presidency in 28 because I feel like, and this is just my opinion, Trump gonna mess this up so bad. It may be 30 years for another Republican be the president again, in my opinion.
I agree with you there. That's why I was getting to that. I was just going the long way around, and I need to start bringing it back a little shorter. But anyway, the way they're going right now, that's why I said, it took him 2 terms to get the United States somewhat back in order. And then Trump came in for a little term. Then it took Biden to get it back, him and Kamala to get it back in order. Now it's going to take another Democrat. It's going to take that Democrat 2 terms to get it back somewhat in order.
Well, one thing this is gonna do, this is gonna open up everybody's eyes to vote somebody in that's qualified versus somebody that's popular.
Right, and you
And
know
that's
what?
and that's a clown in my opinion.
And and I think this is teaching a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people a lesson.
Yeah, we had to go through this. We had to go through this, baby, so we could see what's going on. Because it was a lot of people that was blinded, and there was a lot of people that was voting for people that that wasn't really they're voting against their own interest.
Right.
And in my opinion, when you vote for a Republican, you're voting what you're not voting in your interest, because Republicans say one thing, but then when they get in office, they do a different thing. So you can't go by with what they say. You have to go by with what they do.
Right.
And they done took away voting rights. They done took away women's rights. They done took away LGBTQ rights. They're
Right.
trying to take away your children's rights. They're trying to take away everybody rights. As far as it, when I say your children, I'm talking about education,
Right.
the health care for your kids. The Republicans have basically taken everything that America has come up with thus far. The Republicans have rolled us back all the way to the 50s and 40s, and that's the way that they want it. And they always talking about your freedom. You got, your freedom and your rights, but when in actuality, they're trying to take all your rights away, including your right to freedom of speech.
And you got to look at too. They was talking about, you were saying that daycare, child care. They want the women to go ahead and have a whole bunch of kids, but you're taking the money away from them to be able to get the grants. You took the grants when you did Doge away from the child care.
Well, that's why I say don't go by what they say. Go watch what they do. Don't go by what they say. Watch what they do.
And I think a lot of them shot themselves in the foot, and they saying that they done shot themselves in the foot because they didn't think it was gonna go this bad. And a lot of people thought, some of them that was so hung up on the prejudice, when they talking about the DEI, remember they were talking about DEI like it was going out of style. DEI, this DEI, 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 DEI. Now you don't hardly hear them say nothing about DEI because it affected them when they did the Doge.
Well, Trump is DEI.
Right.
You couldn't force Republicans to do, for example. It's a pretty popular position, at least in my experience with Republicans on this show, to remove this ambiguity, this unofficial ambiguity as far as Israeli nukes. I also agree with that. I don't think that it outweighs the mammoth wins, but let's assume that, okay, it's a wash for the sake of this. What I really want to know is, okay, so you vote Democrat. I think you and I would both acknowledge, because you've said that voting Democrat is a way to punish Republicans. You're not going to get the change in this system with the Democrat Party. Do I have that right? This is about fundamentally changing the Republican Party through accountability.
Absolutely. Yes, totally.
Okay, good. Just because I don't want people to misconstrue what you just said. Like, so see, Democrats are actually good. Like, they have some bullshit that they throw in every now and then. What do you do after that? So in other words, you're saying this will lead us to a consistent or more representative victory, 2028. What's the roster? Where are the funds? What's the ground game, right? Because it's a big risk handing the country over to the left. We know what they want to do.
Well, and see, this is where it gets interesting, and this is where we might disagree on some things. So the way that I see it, 2028 is really what it's all about. I really believe that this administration is just cooked. Like, I don't think there's going to be a course correction. I have no faith in this administration. I think Trump is old. The people around him are very bad. And so I think the real question is, and this is a huge question, who will be Trump's successor? Because that person is going to define the direction of the party. And I really believe there should be a very competitive primary for the presidential race in 28. And what they're trying to do is consolidate support around either Vance or Rubio. As I'm sure you know, behind the scenes, there's a very big fight going on between donors and between party personnel. Are they going to get behind Rubio, which he seems to have the backing of the neocons and Mark Levin and AIPAC and Miriam Adelson? Or are they going to get behind Vance, who has the support of Little Tech, Palantir Tucker, and he's going to clearly run in the more America First lane. At least nominally, he's going to claim that. And I think that we should not have consolidation where it's 80% behind one candidate. I think it should be wide open. I also don't like either Rubio or Vance, because I think you get a neocon or a Palantir guy. And so to me, The only way to have an open field is if everyone associated with the administration is sufficiently weakened. So I'm actually rooting for Democrats to degrade and sabotage this administration and the people in it so that they're less politically viable. And maybe that clears the way for a dark horse or an outsider, someone from outside the MAGA, Mar-a-Lago, Trump administration to maybe clinch the nomination in 28. And to me, that's really the big picture.
Okay. So here's my primary problem, what you just said. And it's that keyword maybe.
What did you say?
I said, I see that. Now I see where you're going with that. Get them out of the MAGA cult atmosphere and get somebody that's more, okay, let's work with America. Let's work with America
first. That's his thing is America first. And we got this clip from Twitter from the Dota Crowder show. And y'all can go follow him on Twitter or either Nick Fuentes because it's on his channel also on Twitter, which is the American First / Nick Fuentes. But basically, though, he's doing what I just explained. Like you said, he wanna get rid of everybody. That's MAGA. In my opinion, Nick trying to bust MAGA up and put some American First people in there.
Right, and I can see what he's doing, and I agree with him. Get some, Democrat or Republican, as long as it's dealing with America. Because right now, nobody's, doing anything for us. They're doing for other countries and their own.
But when have they ever done anything for us? Is what I want to know. Because really, even when you get a Democratic president in office, not many presidents do a lot for the people, in my opinion. They have their agenda when they get in there. They have, their big signature item that they want to try to get passed, and Congress go ahead and pass that one item for them. And then they have, other things on the wish list. And Trump is the only one that can actually pull off of what he say he's gonna do, because he's been ruling by executive order. He's only had one bill passed with the Congress, and that's the big beautiful bill, which is gonna debut June the 2nd. And so we think we struggling now. Wait till this big ugly bill come out, and America really gonna suffer, because that's when all the tax breaks are gonna come out for the billionaires, and all the money is gonna pour into the billionaires and into the Trump family, in my opinion. Because the Trump family said they're trying to make themselves an empire. They want to become as rich as they possibly can while he's in office.
Well, now you can play that little saying, do your fucking research, because that's what they really need to do in regards to this big, beautiful, ugly bill.
Yeah. You're definitely gonna have to do your research with this big ugly bill, because it's got a lot of things in there that's gonna take more money away from the average everyday citizen and give it to the billionaires and the millionaires.
And if that kick in June, this is really gonna take us to a big recession.
Yeah, and by the time next year hit around, when tax time come around next year, in next April, the country's going to really suffer, because they're not going to be paying any taxes at all, more than likely. But like Foxy said,
thought you knew better. Do your fucking research.
Yeah, I tried to tell everybody to do their research on Project 2025, because this is what we're living right now.
Exactly.
Is Project 2025. But I think everybody get the gist of Nick Fuentes, and it's getting kind of late, so let's bring in the runaway.
Wait a minute. What was it? Jasmine Crockett said. What was it?
Big back Butch, big back Bill blonde, or some bleach blonde, or some mess. I don't know. I can't even. I didn't even write it down.
Bleach blonde, bad built Butch body.
Right. Okay.
I remember that.
Taylor Greene, how about this shit? It was real suspicious to me watching her just resign from Congress and turn on Trump. I was like, well, she didn't make any money. They must have dirt on her, right? Then miraculously, after she turns on Trump, resigns from Congress, doesn't even finish out her term, retires to Costa Rica and her husband into a $5 million mansion. And now they're worth like, what, $22 million is what they're saying? This is the same woman that lectured us saying, how does a politician get rich off $174,000 a year without being a corrupt piece of shit? All right, now let's recap why I say what the fuck, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You were the one that said it's impossible to be a millionaire in politics without being corrupt. You turn on Trump, resign your seat in Congress when you were influential in the Republican Party, to now buying a $5 million mansion in Costa Rica where they do not have extradition to the United States. That's where criminals usually run. While we're seeing a lot of politicians getting ready to go down if they don't stop Trump in the midterms. Remember, that's what this is about, in my opinion.
Wow. Now we see what her plan was.
Y'all, we see
Virginia
what her,
Supreme
hold
Court
on one
threw out the
second.
map in Virginia.
Yeah, that was her plan all the time. In my opinion, that was her plan. She's been planning this for a long time, and I'm trying to find this AOC clip about her. But yeah, she said she was getting threats. Is the reason why she left? Huh?
Her and her son. They said her son was getting threats too.
Yeah.
And remember, Trump said if her son died, oh well.
Yeah, he did say that.
He did. He said that out of his mouth. They would say, well, how you feel about Marjorie Taylor Greene's son getting threatened? He said, well, if he get killed, oh well.
Yeah, well, he said she deserves it. Is basically what he said.
Right. So basically, that shows you people how he feels about you. Because if he sit back and say that he could care less if her son get killed, what do you think about how he think about you?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it was always the plan though for her to flee. Do you think she's been planning this for a while, or do you think? Because see, I feel like I never understood why she left Congress when she did, because she didn't have to. She could have stayed until November and just voted against Trump and stick it to him that way. To me, that would have made more sense, is to vote with the Democrats and not allow him to, not help pass along whatever it is that Mike Johnson was trying to pass in the House. And it seemed like you would have did more harm if you would have stayed and just, voted against him. But no, she ups and leaves, and then she goes around and talk about him and start talking about the Epstein files and why she left. And then all of a sudden, she says Trump started threatening her and her son. And so I guess that was the reason why she left the country. It's not making that much sense to me.
I think she saw that he was spiraling out of control. So they're going to evoke this 25th Amendment. And once they do that and they get J.D. Vance and the midterm come in and the Democrats override, get both houses, then a lot of the stuff that they did will come out in the wash. And if you know, he said it is one of those that they can't, make her come back over in the United States.
Yeah. So they can't extradite her if she committed some crimes.
Right. So remember, he said they can't expedite you back to the United States. And he said a whole lot of criminals going to be going to Costa Rica. That's where the criminals go. So that lets you know that she done did some crimes along with him. And when that stuff
probably inside more than likely, in my opinion, and allegedly probably inside trading.
Well,
along with the rest of the Congress.
Well, you notice that remember, she was when he was doing the tariffs, and they was talking about it then when in the House about the, they was talking to her about it, and they was talking about that, the inside trading. And when they was talking about that, she first started off trying to defend it, but then when they did the tariff thing, and she got the stock market, remember the stock market dropped real low, and then it went right back high.
Yeah, because he said the Strait of Hormuz was open.
Right. No, that's before the war. Remember when he first got in there? And remember, that's when the Doge and
when he was doing the Doge projects.
And remember, he would go around, he would go tariff this place and tariff that place and and remember the stock market dropped real low, and then he backed off. That's the first time he backed off the tariffs.
Yeah, with the tariffs.
Right, he backed off and doing the tariffs real high. Remember, he was hitting China with 100, and this place and that place. He was going up high, and then the stock market dropped real low. Then he came back and said, "Oh, I'm gonna back off of this." And when he did, the stock market went back up. Where by this time, that's when they started. The House started talking about, about the trade, and that's when they kind of talked about Marjorie. Marjorie was real quiet there. When that happened, she got real quiet. Before that happened, she was lip.
Well, also too though, but see, she left the house and she got mad at Trump. She only turned on Trump because she wanted to run for Senate in Georgia. And when Trump said he wasn't going to let her run, he wasn't going to endorse her, it seemed like that's when she wanted to take her marbles back, and that's when she kind of got mad at him.
And she did, and she got mad at him. And from what they said on one of the YouTube channels, I can't remember if it was Midas Touch or Adam Mockler. It was one of those two that stated that she got threatened that if she came out, if she tried to run anyway, they were going to bring out all her little secrets in regards to trade deals and all that stuff. So I guess they kind of added up. They, told her what they're going to tell on her if she ran. So,
well, here's AOC talking about it. AOC says she don't trust her. And shout out to C-SPAN for allowing us for this clip.
I care about results. I care about results. Now, there are certain certain areas where I don't think that we should ignore some folks' record on some of these issues, right? It's about where we trust intent, where we trust where those outcomes are going. I personally do not trust someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, a proven bigot and anti-Semite, on the issues of what is good for Gazans and Israelis. I don't think that it benefits our movement in that instance to align the left with white nationalists. I don't think it serves us. And so I think it's about looking at the context, the place, the results, the outcomes, intentions, and where we think that train would go. But as far as what someone says about me, I could care less. And, I think it's really about what our outcomes are. And to be honest, there are some areas where things will not get done if they're partisan because they are anti-establishment. There is bipartisan consensus on keeping and protecting stock trading in Congress. And so it's going to require massive bipartisan consensus of people willing to come together across those differences to get it done.
AOC spilling all the beans, ain't she?
Yeah, and that's why we just talked about the stock trading. She was doing that when they first did the tariff. And she don't trust her because she was a bigot. Remember, she went to her door and opened her little mail slot and yelling at her to come on out. Then she was talking about she didn't feel safe with her because she had a purse and look, she might have a bomb and
and that's when she first got in office.
Right.
She came in antagonizing Congress, the squad, because AOC was in with the Democrat squad groups.
Right. And then remember she told the board that it was fake, that the shooting that happened at the school.
David from Florida. Yeah.
And
he was in high school at that time.
Yeah, she was antagonizing him. And, that's why some people say they didn't care about her son getting bullied because you didn't think about that boy when his, you antagonized him and his life was at jeopardy at that time.
Well, I don't want to see anybody bullied. I don't think it's right for her to bully anybody, and I don't think it's right for anybody to bully her son. So I don't agree with that. I'm
just saying that's why people were saying.
I understand that, but I'm just saying for me personally,
but it's not fair.
I don't agree with that because kids are kids, and some kids can't handle bullying, and it's a lot of kids have unalived themselves because they've been bullied. So I don't agree with that at all. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was wrong for bullying that guy David from Florida. Because he was a shooting victim. He was a victim of his school getting shot up, and he was just one of the ones that made it.
Right.
And so she had no business antagonizing him, just as well as no one has any business antagonizing her son either. So I don't agree with it on either side of the aisle.
Right, and that's what another thing they were saying, that with her bigotry, now it's coming around her, how they say, the chickens are coming to the roost. And so now, now she done left because her son and her getting death threats, and she didn't feel safe, and Trump posted threatening her too, so, allegedly. So that's the reason why she went to Costa Rica.
Well, it sound like things didn't go as planned.
Yeah,
I don't think Nick's plan go
as planned.
Yeah, I don't think his plan gonna come to fruition either. And sometimes, you get a monkey thrown in your wrench, you get a monkey wrench thrown in your plan. And so Marjorie Taylor Greene now is just she's really kind of getting back some of the things that she put out, and unfortunately.
And I hate
because she knew anybody that she targeted, whether it was on social media or on the Congress floor, she knew that the MAGA machine was going to come after those people. And now the shoe is on the other foot. The chickens have come home to roost, and she don't like it. So she had to run away. She flew to another country, ran to another country for the safety. She say the safety of her and her family.
Look, as they say, she flew the coop. She flew the coop.
We can say that too. We definitely can say that. But I don't condone any type of violence, political violence, or bullying, or anything of that nature. And I wish her well, even though she have caused a lot of people, heartache and pain. Okay.
Yes, she has.
She has bullied people. She has talked about people, targeted people. She's done all kind of things while she was in Congress. And like I said, I think she was going to try to get MAGA on her side to try to run for the Senate. But I think she got stopped in her tracks on that also. So the best thing for her to do to stay alive is to take her money and go.
Yeah, and that's what she did. She took her money and went.
Yeah, she took her money and left. Is basically what she did.
Yeah, if I go leave here, I would go to what is it? I got the Africa. I would go to I would go to dang. And as much as I talk about it all the time, and I want it because I seen did my research on it, and not Nigeria. Oh, I would definitely not go to Nigeria. I would go to, I can't think of the other one that's in Africa. If I was going to leave the country, that's where I would go.
You go to Africa? Yeah. Well, just say you go to one of the continents in Africa. But basically, she chose Costa Rica. And that's real ironic because, she was one of the people that was saying that she didn't like Mexicans, but yet and still.
You going to a Hispanic country.
You're going to a Hispanic country to make that make sense. It's very ironic.
Look, I was thinking the same thing. You all for them to do the as they say, I call it the eviction of the Hispanics. But yet now you running over there with them. Okay.
Yeah, she was all on board with deportation, but then she run over there with them. I don't understand that either. So
as they say, help make that make sense.
Help me understand what's going on.
I mean, these folks that get out here, they contradict themselves so much, and like I said,
well, it's because it's all smoke and mirrors.
Wait a minute,
it's all for online purposes, really.
Well, some of them are actually acting on some of these things, and the thing that gets me is y'all talk about it, y'all act on it, and then when it comes back to bite you in the hiney part, then y'all want to cry. Oh, they hurt me. They're attacking me.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the GUN. Ain't no fun, baby. But listen, we want to thank everybody, all of our supporters and subscribers for coming out and joining us tonight. And if you haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channels, which is Off the Record, Foxy 2, Roxy 3, and I Said What I Said. Subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already. And we're getting ready to end the show. So, Foxy, do you have any final words you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yes, I want to say also welcome to all those that was in the bushes. Those that's in the bushes, if this your first time checking in with us, don't hesitate, like you said, to hit the like, subscribe, and share so other people can, see our show and take, get interested in it. And like I said before, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be who we are on, with our channel. So we want to thank you for joining in, and those that in the bushes and the trolls.
So include everybody.
Everybody. Look,
everybody included.
Look, and they say everybody.
All right. Well, good night, everybody, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Yeah, you know what time it is. No scripts, no filters, no fear. We said what we said and meant that. Off the record, yeah, we keep it real. No filter shit, we say what we feel. Politics, stories, truth on display. Come on, we talk that talk in our own way. Off the record, minion the God, let's go. Foxy 2, Roxy 3, she go hard.
I swear on everything, that is exactly what he said right here in the studio.
That is the funniest thing I have heard all week.
So hard, busy with the facts, she never miss. Nah, I said what I said, that's the twist. Off the record, come and catch the vibe. Where real ones talk and the truth survive. Late night truth, we don't just speak. We pull the roots from what they keep. From pain to progress, we light the flame. No spin, no script, we call it by name. Minion bring the vision, Foxy bring the flame. Lizzie drop a cease, it'll never be the same. I said what I said, say it loud, no shame. We taking truth global, remember the name. No apologies, no disguise. Just soul and purpose in our eyes. We move with power, bold and free. Say it loud, you gon' feel this energy. This the realest show you ever saw. On the record. We said what we said. Off the record. Yeah. Yeah. We said what we said. Off the record.